All right, what's up,
We got new
everybody?
console. Oh, my bad. Go ahead. Sorry.
We got another full house here. Goddamn, it's like 3 weeks in a row, ain't it?
Let's
Swing
keep
'em.
going. Let's keep going.
All right, so we got Visored and Is Human in here, and yeah, I was going to just bypass the what you've been playing because I gotta ask Terrell. 77 hours. How are you feeling? 77 hours away.
You mean oh yeah, oh shit.
Shit,
I had to be careful. I had to be careful because apparently the game leaked on Twitter, and I was like, fuck. And I've only seen one evolution, but for the most part, I'm Gucci. I'm trying to right now. I'm like trying to low key avoid Twitter, but I'm pumped. I'm very pumped. This is probably the most curious I've also been for reviews. I very much want to see reviews because I don't want to get too excited, but I'm teetering. I'm teetering like a motherfucker.
Yeah, because you really haven't talked much about it since like the initial reveal where you were
I'm trying to keep myself
super hyped.
I'm trying to keep myself tempered because I've been let down before, but this is like the most hype I've been for a Pokemon game in a minute. So we up here.
Did you hear that music in that new video they put out? Well, they had the Japanese one, but it's got straight out of Breath of the Wild. I mean, they ripped it right out of the Breath of the Wild trailer, the beginning of the trailer, the little piano notes.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's like, come on. I mean,
yeah, I saw that. I was like, bruh.
Hey, look, if you're gonna emulate
anything,
emulate the best as well.
That's true. That's true.
I'm just saying, imitation is the greatest form of flattery.
What is that? Is that Jubilife Village?
Yeah, Jubilee, which is a good reference because there's a city in Gen 4 that's called Jubilee City. So it's very much and this is supposed to be like pre-Sinnoh region. So it's looking nice.
My thing was like, if you're gonna do the whole Breath of the Wild kind of music thing, but had them graphics.
Oh god.
Some shots it looks good, and other shots it looks bad.
I'm cool with because I'm happy they've evolved the gameplay. They've done something different in that space in the world. So I'm cool with,
Hey, at least the shit's moving, the trees and stuff.
Right.
At least moving in the breeze.
No N64 trees.
Hey, look, I appreciate the effort, and I need them to understand. Don't walk away. Don't you back up after this. You need to keep going.
It's got to do well, right? So
that's my concern, and I just need to experience it. I need to, because I feel like this is the game. If any Pokemon game people critique, this is the one you need to critique like a motherfucker. Because it's the same thing with Breath of the Wild. A lot of people did, where it was like, the shit is great, but I don't want you falling into old habits where you essentially just put out the same game next year and act like it's new. Like I want you to take a lot of these critiques to heart and apply it to like a mainline series game with gym matches and everything. Because this shit, it looks nice.
There's some Monster Hunter shit here at the little base camp.
Yeah, I fuck with it, but it's not anything too crazy. And it's also a very single player. Also, there's not multiple versions of a game. Good God,
that's nice.
I'm all for that.
Yeah. Hell, they even do that with the side. They do that with Mystery Dungeon.
And you can change your main character's hair and outfits and stuff.
Change the outfits. You fucking got side quests. I'm like, what the fuck? Pokemon has side quests again? When the fuck we doing this?
That is surprising that they're only doing one version, considering you're right that even Mystery Dungeon they used to, do.
Mystery Dungeon used to have two versions. So I'm surprised that this game was the game they were like, nah, we're gonna have this be a single player event. I'm like, whoa, what?
There's even a Pokemon name in it. You thought maybe they do Pokemon Legends Arceus.
This also is a nice fucking village. Not this bullshit where you walk down one street and all the stores in the city are just that one street.
So what do you think?
I'm very excited.
They showed that little dodge.
That was your game of the year, bro. You enjoyed it.
So what do you think the characters are going to be able to do in the world? They show that little dodge, a little bit of it looks like a fast walk. They call it a run. Do you think anything else you'll be able to do, like climb or anything? Or I know you can fly with Pokemon.
I don't think you really need to climb. I think the focus is more going to be the dodging. Obviously, is more so you don't get legitimately knocked out yourself and have to reset.
Any jumping, you think, or no?
I could see jumping, but Pokemon makes baby steps in some aspects. So I'm not asking for a lot. As long as the game doesn't put me in situations where I feel like I needed a jump button, it won't bother me too much.
Yeah.
But to me, the
I haven't
dodge
seen
roll,
anything like that you need to jump.
yeah, the dodge roll very much I think will suffice. And I like this world design. I fuck with this world design. And to be fair, the DLC for Sword and Shield had elements of this. This just seems like an expanded version of that, and I'm very happy to see them go this route. I want the game in my hands at this point. I think that's where I'm at with it. Just give me the fucking game.
Well, like, look at the traversal where you're
the
able
goat
to really
climbing,
climb with the goat climbing.
Yeah, that looks cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hope
And the flying.
I hope it
Flying,
turns
man.
out.
I want to see the reviews. I very much am curious how the reviews are going to go for this.
So, what's
This
your
is a
plan of purchase? You gonna wait for the physical on Friday? You gonna download it at midnight on the eShop?
So here's the problem. Saturday I have to do overtime, and I want the money, but it also it cuts into my gaming. So I'm probably gonna get it physically, which means I'll get it probably that Friday afternoon, and then I'm probably gonna just play as much as I can. And the good news is that overtime at work, after the first couple hours, I should have the rest of the time free. So I think I'll probably get in a good, at least I'm thinking somewhere between 10 and 20 hours. It kind of just depends. Because Sunday
for the weekend?
Yeah, for the weekend. I think I can get about 20 hours at max, but we'll see what happens. I also don't know how long the game is. That's the other thing. I'm curious how long the game is.
It'll be over 20 hours.
If it's very much about traversal and catching Pokemon and stuff, then yeah.
When's the last time there's been a Pokemon game that's like under 20? I don't know. I feel like
Snap was the last game I think that was under 20
I ain't got only but 20 hours in Snap, man.
First off, Retro, you play certain. Have you even finished Xenoblade Chronicles 2 yet, buddy?
I'm legit. I've been playing it every day for the past week.
Oh shit!
All right,
there you go.
Man. Maybe that 2017 game.
I'm at like 140 hours in the game, I think.
Wait, what game?
Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
But what I will say is, even Pokemon Snap was still half of like 20 hours, which is Pokemon Snap is huge. That's just the main story, So.
I'm looking forward to it. That's all I'll say. But I have a question for you, Juice. Did you start Bloodborne yet?
No. I was going to, and then I forgot that there was NFL playoffs were on, so I watched a lot of football.
What are you gonna play it? What are you playing it on?
I think the Switch, man.
It's only on one console.
Yeah,
I'm playing on the PlayStation.
We're starting early.
Oh god.
Yeah, unfortunately there's no PS5 enhancement or anything, so that's kind of
no frame rate boost. Go back to 30 frames.
Well, there is a hack.
Frames.
You can play it at 60 FPS on PS5. You got to do some bullshit though. I don't know. I don't want to get into that, so it ain't that big a deal. Looks like it
avoid your warranty.
Yeah, I don't think. I just think it's just something to do with the save file you have to fuck with. But
perfectly fine. At the third when I played it,
yeah.
it was
I actually didn't play. The only thing I played in between games. I played a little bit of Returnal, just trying to complete some stuff. Hadn't played it in probably 2 months, so other than that, I didn't touch anything. But
I'm 25 hours now into Persona 5, a game I bought in 2018.
And you lost your save file for me.
How is it? How is it? What the fuck?
That doesn't sound like a good thing.
He was just like.
Well, you already got that far before, right?
No, I've gone much further than I was before.
Oh, you did?
Okay. That's good. But how you feel about the game, Clark? Dude?
I don't want to use the word overrated, but I've played a lot of RPGs in my time, and I think it's overrated.
I'm gonna say this. It very much got sold off of how stylish it is, and it looks great. It has a great style to it, but that's like its best feature, in my opinion.
And that's 100 hour. That's 100 hour. The best part is visuals.
I mean, it does have a nice visual style. I mean, even in Striker.
I'm not gonna write it off. I'm not gonna write it off yet. I'm gonna complete it.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's just I don't know. It doesn't
Don't
hit
know.
the same way that people like to act like it does.
I forget. I did do a little more into Hades right before I played Returnal. I think I did 2 runs, and it just hasn't gripped me yet. I know you said that there gets to a point. I think the weakest aspect of it for me is just the lack of enemy types and just like fighting the same dudes over and over. I know everybody who gets further says it just gets amazing and stuff, so I want to keep pushing. But so far, it's just that's probably what I consider the weakest part of the game, and I'm just kind of like there's no exploration, so I'm just like, I'm trying to find reasons to keep playing, and I haven't found it yet. But
Well, the only thing is, unfortunately, like, if you do, I feel like, to me at least, Hades is a game where if you do keep, you put it down and you pick it up a few weeks after, you put it down a few weeks after, you're never gonna make quite that progress that they kind of need, you know what I mean? Where it's like you get better and then you learn, and it's one of those games where, yeah, like just like Returnal, where you get further and further every single time, or at least potentially.
All I say is if you're not feeling it, like with all of us, with all the limited time that we have sometimes to play games, if you're not feeling
Don't
it,
waste your time.
turn it off.
Don't waste your
yeah,
precious
I mean,
time.
I had to. I just
move on.
and I mean,
Hey man, we could say the same thing to you, Mister. I got 75 hours left of Persona 5, yo.
Hey, I did say I was disliking it. Saying
Damn.
it's overrated.
I mean, overrated. Like we've had this debate before. Anything like you play a game that, let's say, it has a 90 Metacritic, and to you it's a 75, then it's overrated because it's not what people say it is. Like
Yep.
I felt the first Avengers movie was overrated. Do I think it's a bad movie? No, but everyone talked it up to like it was the greatest movie ever, and I'm like, it's an average film.
It's actually a bad movie if you go back and watch it.
I like it. I actually like it more.
I mean, on a technical level, the way it's shot.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, there's some stuff I don't like about it, but I still put it ahead of Endgame and Age of Ultron.
As far as the movie to watch, hold on a second. Technically, not.
Oh, speaking of,
he's just throwing in some preemptive hate because he can't anymore later.
I don't even know what that means.
I thought Persona 5 turned into Marvel. I don't know.
Well, I know we're gonna talk about this later, but I just realized that fucking Retro's got Black Ops 2, and it drives me crazy.
I didn't know you had that, dude.
Why don't we play that shit? We could have fucking played that. What do you mean?
The only reason I have that because I sold on the flea market for $5. I haven't touched that game like ever. I've never touched a Call of Duty game.
Then you would be easy
well, then
target.
we're going to play that one of these days.
Good one, man. Good.
It's the best one, I think.
This is an entire lobby right here.
No crossplay though.
Online.
No crossplay.
No, but we all have the Wii U version.
Well, 3 of us at least. Unless a T probably has.
No,
it.
4 of us.
Huh?
You have Black Ops 2 on Wii U?
You have Black Ops 2 on Wii U?
Yeah.
There you go.
We used to play.
There you go. That's a new game night.
I mean,
we have to play.
Even as much as I love the Wii U, I could never do as good because of the stick layout of the Wii U Pro controller. I just couldn't compete like I did on the 360. That's the one thing. Just like with Rocket League, you move that right stick in Rocket League or Call of Duty, then it's really hard. I couldn't be competitive on Call of Duty on a DualShock or DualSense just because
you need an N64.
Well, it's only because you're used to it. It's not like it's a bad.
No,
layout.
my muscle memory. That's the only types of games, the competitive, like a competitive first-person shooter and Rocket League, where I can't just jump back and forth between controllers. Like I can go from playing Breath of the Wild on the Switch to like fucking Ghost of Tsushima on the PS4, and then go play like Hellblade or something using an Xbox controller, not even think about it at all. Like it's just, which is funny, and it's something we can talk about. I tried to watch one of my favorite reaction channels. She's really good at like movies and shows, really laid back, natural, like just, you're not trying to like act all a certain way, just really natural about it. Well, so a suggested feed showed Breath of the Wild playthrough 4 years ago. I'm like, all right, damn, I didn't know she played Breath of the Wild. I click on it, And
Oh, no.
you know how it tells you
Where it
when you
goes.
have to hit a button, it shows it where it is on the. Not only does it say
Yeah,
the A
and it
button,
shows it where it is,
shows
yeah.
it where it is.
Yeah.
So okay, she struggled in the first 2 hours. I jumped to the last. She only did nine eps. Just got the Master Sword. I jumped to the 9th, not episode, but playthrough. So she beat a couple Divine Beasts and was getting the Master Sword, and she still had to look down every single time to hit a
Damn.
button. And then I was like, wow, that's tough. And then I watched her take on Thunderblight Ganon. She didn't know. I mean, she was what? She had already beat one Divine Beast, got the Master Sword. She didn't know how to do the shield parry. Didn't know how to dodge to the side and do flurry rush. Robert, I don't know how to say it. She pulled a Robert to get through. I don't know. I just imagine this how you beat the boss.
How is it?
He would go, and then she'd use her shield to block. Just take the hit, so her shields didn't last very long. And then she would hit him 3 times, hit his shield, before, and then he flung his shield to the side and get a few hits in. She went through all her weapons because that's 3 hits to the shield that does damage. She ate, well, she cooked, so she played a little different than you. But I was just jokingly thinking that, I bet you Robert beat this guy this way. But you're supposed to.
I can see what you said. No, but I mean, I did my flurry rush a lot.
You're supposed to do the shield parry. I mean, that's the boss that they're teaching you. At the at the little last bit of health, it just
You're talking about
constantly.
when he's going all fast,
And you gotta go. And everyone in the chat was like, "Do the shield parry." She's like, "I don't know how." And she looks and where's the A button? I was like, I had to turn it off.
Where's the A button?
It was the worst thing I've ever watched in my life. It was the most frustrating and that's what happens.
You're not meant to do anything in any way in Breath of the Wild. She beat the boss just like Rob beat the boss.
Yeah.
There are ways
She beat
to
the
it.
boss with
The
one.
goal was
Yeah, I was gonna say, I shield parried a little bit in that fight, but not a whole lot.
You're not
I
even
think
supposed
a
to be able to
shield
beat
parry
him
runs
without doing
all
it because
fucking game.
he's electric when he does it, and it's
Yeah.
really. I have a feeling they didn't even intend somebody not to do that because.
Do you know why? Because my daughter, 2 of them, both cannot shield parry to save their fucking lives, and both of them have completed Breath of the Wild.
Did
The only
they?
time they shield
Yeah, I don't
parry,
think my son shield
the only
parried.
time they'd done it was on Ganon at the end. That was it.
Well, it's just like the people in the chat were just like, "You got to do this," and then it's like, "Oh, I hate watching casual gamers
That's why I don't
play."
live stream because I'm too casual.
But it was like my joy of she's playing Breath of the Wild was just immediately dashed. But and then she was talking about she can't figure out where the buttons are because it's not an Xbox controller. So that's what made me think of it. And then there was tweets about button layouts on Twitter this last week, and I forget why. Somebody was trying to make the deal about Nintendo.
I think someone posted the Nintendo Pro controller and the Xbox controller and said, why can't they just have consistent buttons? Why just swap the buttons around? And just wait, Nintendo started this fucking button layout. But they were kind of hinted towards that. It's like
Someone made a good point. Maybe Nintendo could have sued them if they used the exact same button layout with the buttons in the same spot. I don't know if that's true, but that was one person's theory because the Dreamcast is the exact same as the Xbox, where they swapped A, B, and X and Y. So that could have been.
Maybe.
So we got Midnight Owl in the chat. So welcome. According to the analytics, our viewership is 100% male. So you're breaking the. You're breaking the trend.
She's not here for us. First off, she's not here for us. I already know.
No.
No, wait. Can I just say, Midnight Owl? That Morticia Adams was just I
thought that was Morticia Adams.
Perfection.
It's
so good, so good.
She actually played Mary Party with me and Robert.
Yeah, I was about to say, what was so good was Mario Party Superstars Day. You guys need to pick up so we could play.
It was so much fun.
It was a ton of fun. I want to say, you want to talk about visuals. I guess we weren't talking about visuals. That game is probably the best looking Switch game. like legit. I would never like. You guys
Better
retro
than Luigi's Mansion.
every time we start. I'm not. I mean, because every time we started like a mini game, I was like, damn, dude, look at how good this looks. Literally, like every single time, like
That's ridiculous. Some of the stuff, it looks so good. You're wondering, like, why does this look so good?
yeah. You're like shit, man.
Well, if you believe that Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga video on Nintendo's YouTube channel, you'd think the fucking had ray tracing and shit on the Switch.
Oh
Because they
god.
didn't specify
true.
it wasn't Switch footage. Sometimes they'll do the exact same trailer and it'll be like you can tell it's Switch footage if it's a multi-plat. But this one's like for sure high, like it looked like almost like the that Lego game that Robert played that the best visuals, whatever that was called.
Lego Builder.
Lego Builder. I mean, it looked close
It
to
looks
that.
like that.
And I'm like,
looks
Jesus, like this is definitely not the Switch version, but it looks
To be fair, the
epic
Lego
as hell.
games have always looked good, for the most, especially in that.
No, they look real good.
Yeah,
They look real
but
good.
this
But
is
if you're talking about
obviously-
Lego Builder's Journey, good. I mean,
this is
that's
obviously PC or Series X PS5 version.
The,
in
the original
trailer.
like Lego Star Wars 1 and 2 when they came on like the GameCube and PS2 and stuff, they look great. But like even Lego City Undercover on the Wii U, I think is such an overlooked open world game. It looks amazing.
Seemed like it was hindered
One
by
of my favorites.
the
That
loading
game was
times.
so good.
I think people were really.
I mean, people always say the loading times, but the game loads way too long in the beginning. But after that, you never really have that anymore. Like
it's
the open
kind
world.
of like it's like that Donkey Kong loading, isn't it? Once
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Once you got that title screen out of the way, it's just a little bit in between.
I didn't play it, but I thought I heard anytime you went inside and then
Nice
came back out.
optimization, Retro Studios.
Well, yeah, that's what they
Maybe
kind
it
of
should
like
have to load
buildings
a
and
bit,
stuff
but,
like
like,
that. It would load.
Let me
Lego,
play this trailer.
that game was
because
like the most fun I had on the Wii U. That game
I've
was
never
so
really
good.
sat down and played a Lego. This seems different. What they're pushing here seems different.
Lego City Undercover.
Yeah.
Like this new Skywalker
Glorious.
Saga
It's really good.
game doesn't look
You were
like the
hyping up
typical
this
Lego
thing a
game.
lot. You were hyping up this Lego Skywalker Saga a lot, and I'm not. I think it's just because of the people really love the Star Wars Lego games, but I don't know why exactly this one is why they're hyping.
Well,
up.
it's like it doesn't look like the typical just destroying
The
stuff and
Oh,
collecting.
this one is the
Would I buy
pretty
that
good.
game when I'm only concerned about 1/3 of it?
That's what I was thinking.
this was the Skywalker
I mean,
Saga.
even
this
if
one.
you don't like any of the other movies,
that looks
like
fucking
the gameplay
good.
when you see it like that, you know, you
Yeah,
have
no,
like
that's
the
right.
Lego
I
take
would
on it
still
and
buy
stuff.
I'm just kidding.
Like you see the combat. There's like actual like combos and stuff. And,
Yeah,
like,
And
the
it's a
combat
long
is more intricate.
overview trailer. It was like 6 minutes, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'll
6
I'll,
minute overview trailer. They definitely got a lot to talk about. And it also looked way better on my phone than it is when I have it on my PC screen here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm definitely
I don't know
excited for
about
this
no
one. It looks
builders.
like fun. I mean, look
Well,
at that.
there was
This
one
looks
spot
great.
when I just happened to look, and there was like water on the floor in some outdoor place, and it was like
Yeah,
Talking about
reflections.
Star Wars and acquisitions. Ooh.
Oh no!
And
Yeah, it looks good with a third person. Yeah, this is definitely
it looks more than what I've ever seen a Lego game.
for sure.
I mean, in the end, it's still going to be a Lego game, but it looks incredible, and it definitely looks like they did more to the combat than they did.
Yeah, at least it's
before.
an improvement.
Well,
Yeah.
you say it's just gonna be a Lego game, but like
This looks like I'd rather
I've
play
never
this
seen-
over
I've never
the
seen,
Guardians of the
Lego
Galaxy based on what I've seen from the gameplay.
game.
I'm just being serious, like just gameplay
Hey,
wise.
look, everyone has their preference. Shit.
No, hey man, or you could just you could play both, man.
Nah, not this year.
Not this
So
year.
just while we're on the Star Wars, right here, this area. See how there's like fucking
Was that the throne room?
yeah,
in
like the
Last
reflections
Jedi?
and shit. I was like, that ain't the Switch version.
You don't know that.
You don't know that.
It might have been Panic Button, man.
I
and they
finished-
went
I
crazy.
finished-
Panic button in
uh,
America, man.
I finished what's fucking Mandalorian, and I was like, I don't think I ever really mentioned it. I was gonna tweet about it. It's like literally the best Star Wars I've seen since Return of the Jedi, no question about it.
Easy.
Not just for the nostalgia either. It's just a cool show.
Don't watch Boba Fett.
And that's what I didn't mind the episode with him in it, but oh, man, I'm just like, you guys are going too far with this shit.
It's
far.
it's how I just don't understand how it could be that much worse.
Probably because it's not
the
being
show that already gave you the template.
because what's his face ain't making it.
No, he is. He's writing
he?
every episode.
He is. Jeez.
Yeah, that's
Right.
super surprising. But Robert Rodriguez, his episodes are clearly the worst. They're just it's so bad.
Anyway.
Bad way.
Oh. Yeah, I'm running out of stuff on Disney Plus, so I'm probably just gonna. I got it till the
Get rid of it.
14th of next month, and I'll get it back when there's more
I'm
stuff.
just gonna burn it.
I will say I do like the IMAX enhanced. It's just all MCU shit right now, though. Where if there's any, like Dune, for example, that just come out on 4K Blu-ray, and they had a ton of like IMAX shots, but they chose not to utilize them, and you got the whole movie in the Cinescope. So you get these shots where you can tell there's stuff supposed to be up here and it's cut off. Whereas IMAX enhanced, anytime it was shot with IMAX, it fills the whole screen. And it's like, it's great, but it's just MCU movies, so it's not as good as it could be. So anyway, what else was there? I feel like there was something else I wanted to hit on before. Guys, anything pop up?
We didn't make any. No one made any trivia questions.
Yeah, I was gonna think of just the most
Like,
obscure fucking
I
shit.
feel like we just need to get into it. Just get into it.
Let me double check.
Stop beating
though.
around the fucking bush. Just get into it.
I know I
I know you
I
enjoy
don't want to
that
keep
shit.
talking movies, but the fucking
I'm
I
laughing.
will go to sleep. if
I'm
you
laughing
keep
at what I
talking
just
movies.
typed in the chat because people. That's what people are calling it online.
yeah, yeah. He's dude isn't no fucking. He ain't what he was 20 years ago. You know, like
Well,
dude's too old to play that.
Well, even Jango Fett was bulkier than Boba. Boba was tiny. Boba
Mhm.
was like 90 pounds.
But not quite. He wasn't quite Timothy Olyphant skinny though in that episode where he was the sheriff in
Boba was that skinny.
Was he?
Do you not remember Boba from the original series?
I don't remember him being like that.
He was tiny. I thought it was a woman in the suit, but it was a dude.
Interesting. I know there's something gaming related too. We're gonna get this big topic,
I'm gonna just get this pillow out just in case.
and I'm trying to scroll through Twitter quick to see if I can remember or find it.
I will say that
You talk about Banjo-Kazooie on,
Oh
on
yeah, I was
Switch
gonna
on
talk
here?
about
Yeah,
Banjo
boy.
Kazooie too. That was
Greatest
one small
game
thing.
of all time, boy.
what that it's on the online.
Well, so
Yeah.
what's been
okay.
released since the initial Plus expansion?
Paper Mario
and that.
and Banjo.
And Banjo.
And
the
Majora's
Mask
Mask is going to
coming
be
up.
in like a week or so, I think.
Well,
they-
next month.
They said February.
Yeah. Don't ain't no week.
We're like the 25th.
It'll be
February
next
is in a
month.
week.
29th and shit.
Exactly.
The
Yeah,
29th. What?
February is in a week.
Of
We're the
February.
25th.
Bitch.
Yeah, when is February in?
Excuse
It's,
me, Banjo
20th.
came out the 20th. It didn't come out early in the month.
No, I was thinking because
It came out 40 days after Paper Mario. 40 days.
Yeah.
it's not-
Right
it's
now,
not
they
like
they seem to be picking up a bit
month-to-month
more
thing.
consistency in one N64 game a month. So that means we'll be through the entire N64 library by the end of this year.
Whoa.
And
It-
thanks
Yeah.
to Donnie.
What you mean the entire?
Thanks to
Josh,
Donnie,
man.
there's another thing I want to talk about.
Oh God! Don't bring that up.
So
yo.
Terrell
Kingdom Hearts, man.
was talking about Kingdom Hearts. They're charging $90 for the cloud version on Switch.
Bullshit.
$90
Well,
fucking dollars for the Kingdom Hearts
the way-
collection.
let me explain how they did it. So the one thing this collection offers that the other ones don't is it offers the DLC from 3. And the DLC currently, because DLC prices don't seem to go the fuck down, is still $30. So I think the way they're doing it is like, oh, well, we're including the DLC from 3, so the full
Nah.
collection is $90. But here's the other kicker: if you buy them separately, you'll notice one collection seems suspiciously higher than it should be. So you got the base collection, which is the 1.5, 2.5. That's 40, I believe. Then you go into the second one, which I think is the most bullshit of the 3, which is a movie, that 2-hour demo for 3 and Dream Drop Distance, which is just the 3DS game. That one is $50. And I'm like, how the hell did
Why
you
even
justify
put
that
the
one?
2-hour demo of 3 when 3 is part of the fucking collection?
Because technically,
Wait,
if
2-hour demo 3.
I
Is
call
it
it the
different?
2-hour demo 3.
You
It's
talking about
called
the 0 point?
Yeah, yep,
But
0.2.
but isn't that like its own?
Oh, it's
But it's only it's
Okay.
only 2 hour. It's only 2 hours of gameplay.
It's kind of
Yeah, but
like
it's
the
still its
Metal
own
Gear
thing, to
Solid
be fair.
bullshit. Ground
It's like
Zeroes.
the Phantom Pain, I guess you could say. Yeah, like
No, I think the Phantom Pain
the
might be
Ground
longer.
Ground Zeroes.
But yeah, it's like that, and you put that the movie of I think it's called Back Cover, and then Dream Drop Distance, which is the only full game of the three
But,
things
I mean,
on
beside
there.
all,
And
I
that's
mean, you're
$50.
paying for fucking the cloud game on
That's
all
what makes it
these.
worse.
Paying for the cloud. You don't own shit. You're not even getting a digital download.
No.
You're
Yeah.
paying for the ability to pull the game from the servers.
You're
Yeah.
giving them $90, and it was funny in Terrell's stream. Somebody just kept saying, "I'll wait for the physical version." There's no physical version. They didn't port the game. It's just fucking
There's no-
streaming
yeah.
the cloud. Like there's no physical
Well, that-
version.
no physical version.
I think
Not
that
on
lends.
Switch.
A lot of people believe, and this is just a suspicion a lot of people
Retro,
have.
you're muted.
Huh? Oh, Retro is he is muted.
It's
What
that
the fuck?
mustache. That's
The only,
Grandma?
the only thing I was gonna say is that I already feel that a digital version should not be legally allowed to cost the same as a physical version. But it's like T said, like a cloud version is even less than that. Like,
Yeah, it is.
like you're renting something that is not even gonna exist later down the line. Even a digital version, you can put it on your system and stuff. Like, I think it's
I don't see the
travesty to have
problem.
like $90.
I don't see the problem. These are classic big games
Shut the fuck up.
that people love, and they're clearly holding their value like Nintendo games. You know, they
Stop playing, man.
All right, I hate
Stop.
like it. Listen.
I didn't know
problem-
$90 though. Not
The
even
problem
60?
here's the problem I have, and it comes into a string of things. Obviously, you got the $90 price tag, and then on top of that, I think this is the Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary year, and there's supposed to be some sort of event later on in the year. A lot of people believe, because the one thing they also find weird is that this is the only collection that offers dual audio on certain games, and it's the only collection that includes the Remind DLC. A lot of people think that this collection is literally just going to come out on PS5 and Xbox later this year. And then it's going to be like, well, why in the
Probably
fuck would you...
And it won't be.
And it-
It probably won't even be 90, even if it has all
And
the
here-
same
Oh, yeah.
shit.
And what makes it even crazier is that the game currently has a promotion on Switch. The games are all on sale. You can buy it right now for $72 instead of the $90. And it's specifically just for Kingdom Hearts, and it lasts until the end of February. And I'm like, if it's supposed to be... So what it tells me is that $90
When have you ever
is too
heard of
much.
this, where they have a full price game and before it releases they have a sale?
Yeah,
What the
like you
fuck?
can you know they're not. You know
That's
they're
never
not.
happened.
Oh, I gotta get it because that's that.
That's
what's
what
that
they're
fear
doing.
of
The same
losing
with
out?
the fucking
Oh, I gotta get it. 'cause
3D
it's on
All
sale.
Stars.
It's misdirection. That's the whole
Yeah.
point. It's like,
So that
oh,
shit
it's on sale, so it
Dog.
must be a deal. Well, no, they're making money regardless.
You know how you
If you
do
spend-
the cloud gaming correctly? Just look at what Xbox did with xCloud. Whether you buy the game or whether you have Game Pass, you can download and play it, or you can play it instantly with the cloud. I mean, it's just there. I mean, yeah, if you download it, you gotta wait. That's how the cloud can work. That's how it should work. It shouldn't be the only option. You shouldn't have to buy the game full price, and that's the only version you have is this digital version. Now, if they had it where every game you bought also had the cloud version, if you wanted to stream it instead of like re-downloading it or something, then it's fine. But this is the only way they're offering these games, and we don't know how long these servers are going to last. With Square, you can't trust them to keep them going years down the road. It's just stupid. Like
I said, I don't trust big budget Square for shit. I'm fine with their AA teams and that shit. I don't trust big budget Square for nothing, because what I really believe is going to happen is that they're going to report these games on PS5, Xbox One, and then if we ever get a physical collection, it won't come for like another year or two. And I'm going to be sitting there in the corner going, why is it Xbox? And there's no disrespect to Xbox specifically, but let's be real here. You were releasing side games on the Nintendo systems for years. why is it the Xbox gets these collections before we do? Like, I don't even care if Xbox gets them. My issue is just like the disrespect to Nintendo fans. I just, especially considering of all the games of those collections, the only 2 games I could justifiably say you could do cloud for is like 3 and
3. That's it, man. Come on, let's be
maybe
fair.
maybe the 0.2 because it's on the same game engine.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
That's like
right.
the only 2 games you could justify. And
Yeah.
be like, okay, those are fine. I could get those.
Yeah.
Buy
You
the
can also
collection.
play 3 on. You can play
We're
3
talking
on
about
Game Pass.
PS2 games, bitch.
PS2,
Like, come
PSP, DS games. Like,
Right.
what
It's
the fuck are
just
we doing,
ridiculous.
dog?
Like, come on.
I mean, honestly, I can't think of a worse like release for a game collection. I mean, it's not like I have all of them on top of my head here, but I can't think
I
of
mean, the
anything that
Super Mario 3D trilogy wasn't the best.
But it's
Nah,
not
it's
even
not
better
close
than
to
this.
It's still not
Existed.
even close to that. As bad
Yeah,
as
there
it
you
go.
was.
Because at least those are physical games. You could own.
Yeah,
I
at
mean,
least
you, could-
yeah.
you had a
at
cart
least
for
it's
that.
physical.
I mean, it sucked
No,
that
you,
they.
no, you can still get them. You can still
Yeah,
get
and you
them.
can
Man.
still buy the shit.
Yeah, they're still available.
They fooled a lot of people there. I think what
It's
it sold
good.
10 million something in those last number.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I remembered the other thing I wanted to talk about, and it's kind of similar related. So Nintendo tweeted last week the physical version of the Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Definitive Edition's coming out. And then somebody fucking zoomed in right at the bottom, download required. So everyone's
for all 3
speculating that
games?
you only get the first game on the cartridge.
Okay.
And I
Why
looked
you-
up the file size is 27 or 28 gigs for the whole collection.
Why is it that big? 1. 2. Don't
Bro,
even make a
Witcher
physical
3,
version if I
man.
still have to download
Yeah.
something. You already got a digital version out there. You're gonna. What is the point?
Because they
I
had
don't
the digital
understand.
version out first, and now the physical version. Nintendo's publishing. You got Nintendo with all their money. You got fucking Take-Two, Rockstar with all their money. And you can't put them all on one fucking 32 gig cart. Are you fucking kidding
I don't
me?
even care.
They did
fucked
it
that
for. Why did they do it for Witcher and not Grand Theft Auto?
because Witcher had effort put behind it.
And they said that they patched something and like put out this bullshit apology, and then everyone's like, yeah, that only fixed one minor problem with the trilogy. Like it didn't fix.
Yeah, the problem is the trilogy's still bad. That's the other problem.
Well, did you see
But it
the?
only had one glitch.
Yeah, there's,
yeah,
Yeah,
there's
that's
stuff
what
that
it
can't
was.
be fixed. There's
It's
stuff that's not
hilarious.
going to be fixed in patches.
Yeah.
Because it's just fundamentally what did I say? Fundamentally, like fundamentally,
I'm a number.
because of the way the game was built in that engine, like they took stuff out. You know, there's it's similar to I guess is it similar to that? I guess in some ways it's similar to like the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask 3DS stuff, where things are fundamentally changed
Yeah, that's true.
to where they're worse. And there's
I
nothing
got,
you can
I
do.
got
You
the
can't
I
patch
got the
that stuff out.
GTA trilogy here. Look,
Oh, you bitch.
That's the original?
That's the GTA trilogy. There.
Yeah, that's what I
There's,
thought the Switch was gonna get. To
well-
be honest, was the original 3 games.
Probably would have been better.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, no,
3 is so
yeah.
different. Like, how do you?
So let's quantify the cloud. $90 for cloud. Well, it's 72 right now for cloud collection versus I don't know what the GTA trilogy if that's 60 or not.
Like 60,
The
yeah.
physical version. Let's make an announcement about the physical version, and it's basically still the digital version. I know, Robert, you don't mind buying empty boxes, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't really. If they still,
But
I mean,
why-
like,
what's
I,
the big
I
deal?
legitimately have
Why
the-
even? It's just
Well, hold on. In Robert's defense, in some cases, that's not a bad thing. Where, because if you especially if you're an N64 Saturn guy, the fucking case costs more than the game. Like you can buy just the game by itself for way cheaper than buying it with the case. The case, like I was looking at Zelda N64, the collector's edition. I'm sure that thing sold like 8 million copies. But if you wanted to get the box for that shit, it's nearly $100 or more.
Most, yeah,
That's
Talk
what
about
games are just
Rockstar.
Oh, damn.
boxed.
There you go.
So what do you guys? Which one do you think offends you more I'm pretty torn between the two.
Well, the
Oh,
cloud.
Kingdom Hearts bothers me more.
It's gotta be.
I
the
think
cloud
GTA
one.
bugs me more just because of the legacy of those games and how much money they've
I
made
mean, I can understand that.
off those games and not do a proper physical version with
Yeah, but
Nintendo
think about-
publishing.
But think about but I mean, think about. I get that, but at the same time, I would say at least they put something out there when Square
At least
literally said $90, take it or leave it. It's the entire thing, only in the cloud. Fuck you. It's like, whoa,
Yeah, that's
whoa.
my
Here-
issue with
here's
that.
the thing. At least the games are good games. Like they're fundamentally good games, right? The way you're getting them is pretty shit, and how much it costs. But we're in a situation where the GTA games, they're fundamentally like bad.
Yeah, I guess it's both
good.
ways.
The way they are right now.
I think for me, it's more like, the thing with the Kingdom Hearts stuff, it's ridiculous, it's overpriced. But at least you're getting nothing, like the games don't exist. I think the GTA thing is worse because they pretend you're getting it physical, but you're getting it half and half. And I will always hate that almost most in gaming. I don't like half and half. Like, either give me a code in a box, or give me a game in a box, but don't give me a cartridge in a box that I still have to download anyway to make it work. Like oh, you have one game here and one's physical. The other one, you get like half the cloud. You have to download this DLC. And no, fuck off. It should work. If it's a card, it needs to work. And that'll always piss me off.
Yeah, to me, what bothers me the most about it is that, like you said, Nintendo's publishing it, right? And they didn't spring for the fucking cart. Okay, you motherfuckers know you're putting out systems with 32 gigs and 64 gigs of memory on them, and you won't even do what we were all excited about having cartridges for. Is not having to download shit.
And Nintendo hasn't done that yet with any of their games. They haven't had to. They've always been on the
Right.
cart, other than DLC and updates and stuff like. Just
Don't
Breath
make
of the
yourself
Wild
look
had
bad
like a
publishing this shit if you're not gonna buy a cart. A
Yeah, that's
32
what
gig
really-
cart.
that's
Yeah,
where-
follow
I got more-
on
I
from
got-
Rob. I think it's like the difference between someone gifting you a piece of shit in a transparent box that you can't open. You just have to look at it. It's not tangible. You can't do anything with it. It just sits there staring at you.
It's a
To
turd
someone
in a
actually
box.
gifting you a piece of shit in your hand and say, yeah, use the physical. You can actually have it, but you gotta keep it. And you're like, you know what? I don't know which. Both are bad. That's it.
they're both
Just
bad.
to let you know, by the way, Robert, if you buy a code in a box, normally there's a time limit attached to that.
Yeah.
If you don't use that within a certain amount of time, it is literally just an empty
Well, they
box.
say that
Yeah.
they say that about digital codes in movies, and I've tried movies 3 years after they supposedly expired and they work. So I don't know.
No way, really?
Yeah,
Huh?
because I was
mean,
like,
because I
Nobody
have-
does their fucking job. That's why.
I was like, when I-
Those websites just sit there and don't.
when I got
Well, I know
my
for-
my smart TV and I like downloaded Voodoo, I was like, you know what? I got all these digital movie codes in all my fucking Blu-rays. So I started going through them. I mean, I got to the point where there's ones where you had to put a disc in your computer and like download, like it was like a mobile version. It was it was only meant to be looked at on your phone. It was like a 1 gigabyte file size for an entire movie, like Transformers 2, I think was one. Or maybe it wasn't Transformers, but whatever. It's a 50 gig Blu-ray, and they compressed it down to 1 gig on a fucking little CD disc. That's how far back that went, and then obviously I couldn't use those ones. But anyway, yeah, none of those were expired. Some
Wow.
of them, some were like
Real-
2
well, I
3
guess
years.
because I have so many digital codes. I know.
I don't watch them that way, but I'm like, why not? Why not just build up my
Yeah.
digital collection?
What I have
It's convenient.
I'm trying to think. I had the infamous collection on PS3, and I really only noticed like last year that the Blood Festival one is a download code. I'm like, oh no, and it expired years ago, and so I'm like, oh shit. But I never even tried it. I guess to be fair, I should check just in case. And then I mean, but nowadays, like anytime I get one that's physical, like physical that's just a download code, like Sekiro, I got for the PC. I wanted to get it's the box, but inside is a disc with no. It's just a plastic, cardboard that they put shaped as a disc, and it's got like a download code on it. And I liked it because kind of, hey, it's unique. It's like you get a disc, but it's not really just a download code. And you type that in, and obviously nowadays, anytime I get that, I type it in right away just so I don't forget. But because I know I'm not gonna play for years, but it's but I just have it there because I know I gotta get it. But look, I like having like my plastic box, like Cyberpunk. It's still the full, they put the artwork, all that type of shit in there, but inside is a download code, but you still get all that beefy stuff still, and all that. I like.
I would like the option. Sorry to cut you off. Where they were talking about where you put each game came with a code, so you could install
like a license, right?
And type in that code as a one-time use. It would suck if you went to sell the game. It was worthless. But at the same time, you would have all your games. You wouldn't have to put the disc in. You could still have your physical copy. You could play it that way, or you could just play the digital version. That would have been cool. But there's too much downside.
There was one time where I have on PC Ari in the story of Seasons. I think I got the name wrong, but it's this indie game that I have on PC that I was gonna get physical. Physical. I know I was hoping it would be a download code because I don't have a DVD drive on my PC.
Yeah, I don't have one either.
So I messaged the Twitter account. I'm like, hey, do you know if the physical for PC is gonna be a digital download or it's gonna be like actual physical disc? And then they put with a sad face. They're like, sorry, it's only going to be a digital code. And I'm like, no, that's great. Thank you. That's a good thing. I'm going to pick that up then. And it's like, oh, okay. What are the odds of that? Like,
I have a Blu-ray drive, but I don't have any place to put it in my case. So I got to buy. I'm gonna have to look see if they have a SATA adapter where I can just plug it in a USB, so I can because I got like old pictures and stuff on CDs. And I have to like take it to work. Fucking, you're not supposed to, and like plug in my phone and transfer them all to my phone. Oh, if I want to look at some photos.
Yeah.
I was going to say to give
USB Blu-ray drive.
Some credit. This is my original copy of Diablo 2 I bought in the year 2000. That's when the game released. Year 2000, right? And I jumped on Battle.net about 2 years ago. Put in the old CD key that I still have on the CD case in here, and it works. They still register it as a legit copy.
God damn, 20 years later.
Yeah, who made Quake? Was that id?
That was it.
Yeah, they did a Quake 2 ray tracing free upgrade. All you had to do is give them the code. You had to download a new version. It wasn't Microsoft.
Yeah, it is now.
It is now, but they did this, and you had to download a new version, but you didn't have to pay for it. You can buy the ray trace version if you never had it, but for all the people like you that still had the old physical,
that's cool.
They got a free upgrade. If you had to have a
that's pretty cool.
certain graphics card to take advantage of it, but it's shit like that. Companies are doing stuff like that, and then you got other companies doing bullshit. And Sony's one of them with the what was it, Ghost of Tsushima, and now the Uncharted Lost Legacy, or Legacy of whatever it's called.
Legacy of Thieves, I think.
It says that's what I have, even though I don't have it because I have both games. And it's like, why? How can this old ass game they do like a full fucking ray trace remake of the game, and it's free, and and you got other companies that just can't do it. Nintendo definitely is another offender of that, where they want to resell you the whole full price game again.
I mean, to be fair, you're not going to be able to put Wii U games into a Switch, but next generation is the real test, if I'm being honest.
That's true.
Next generation
is that's what us Nintendo fans say every year.
No, because I know it's so funny. I was seeing someone we were talking about I was not in the conversation, but there was a conversation going on about backwards compatibility, and people were like, Nintendo backwards compatibility, yeah, right.
I mean, they've done it before.
Did people wipe their fucking memories? They were the people that did backwards compatibility. Yeah. Are you kidding me? Like they were that from. Come on, man! People don't even think about the Wii, DS, fucking 3DS.
Well, I think every single handheld up until the
Game Boy.
Every handheld had even the Game Boy Advance SP still had like a bigger slot, and you could jam the Game Boy card would stick out, but it could still do it.
I got that one right there. Yeah, you can put the Game Boy in there, but people were like, "Oh,
PlayStation
Nintendo-
was first,
It's like,
which
Oh,
is
yeah?
sad because Nintendo was around longer.
I was gonna say for the console market, perhaps, yeah, but like even
Yeah.
after that, you know, like you could put the fucking GameCube games in the Wii and shit.
yeah."
Yeah,
I
it wasn't
really
much
wish.
longer.
I really wish on the Wii U they apparently you were able to play GameCube games and they just for
can.
some reason didn't. They didn't.
They don't
but
do
they
it
like
natively, but you can play GameCube
that would have
games,
been
man,
perfect, man. That would have been legit. The
fairly easily.
yeah. I have to
Well,
get into
if they
that.
did that, they couldn't have charged you for Wind Waker HD and shit.
Yeah, I mean, I was still bought Wind Waker HD. I mean, this is pretty.
Yeah, but they wouldn't maximize profits that way.
You say that, but I think they
But
were
then
still,
again,
they would
what
have
did
still
they do?
sold
2 games?
It was
2
two
Zelda
games.
games?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
That's legit.
yeah.
And maybe it's so weird because remember that was the whole thing that they did that so they could do more GameCube stuff.
Yeah.
Where's that at? What happened to that? They're like, here's 2 Zelda
Switch,
games.
bitch.
And think about it, even Twilight Princess
On Switch
was
James,
on Wii.
bitch.
Remember, you're able to just play the Wii version. So you could, if you wanted to, you could just buy the Wii version and play it on Wii U. You know what I mean? Which I had the Wii version, but I still bought the HD version. So there you go. I was one of the customers that did it.
Yeah, most
So-
people would buy the HD version, I would think,
Yeah.
regardless.
I mean, for sure. You know, I don't know why. I don't know why I just thought about that, but like
It was more than just an HD version, though. You know, like Wind Waker. So
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah,
more
they did
effort
some
into it.
quality of life. And
yeah, I still can't get over how good that game looks, man. Fucking Wind Waker HD. That's
that's gonna be gorgeous forever.
Yeah, what?
I was,
Will it? We said that about the GameCube version.
This year, oh my god, yo, we have to. This year is the 10th anniversary of the Wii U. We gotta have a big podcast.
Shit, it's 10 years already. Goddamn.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
scary.
Oh, this fuck.
10th anniversary doesn't make sense. That's
frightening, man.
madness. That's madness.
Holy
It's coming to the
years
point
since
where,
this
where,
came
where, when I was growing up, now I feel like, whoa, 10 years for
Actually,
me.
Back in my day, we had a Wii U.
I remember I couldn't wait for fucking Mario Kart. I couldn't wait for Mario Kart 8 to come out. It's like, it felt like forever, like after the announcement. And I was like, man, I can't wait. And now it's fucking...
8 years.
Mario Kart 8 was supposed to change the Wii U stars, you know?
I mean, they gave away wasn't Wind Waker one of the games?
They gave, it was what,
Yeah.
Pikmin 3, Wind Waker,
They were
Wii
Pikmin
Party
3.
U.
They were, remember when Nintendo gave you some deals?
Yeah.
No.
You know,
You mean when they
Isn't
were
it still
losing
weird that
money?
they did it for Mario Kart though?
Yeah,
Like,
that's the thing, though. Does that make sense to do that? It would make more sense to be frugal, like they are on Switch, when they're not making money. But they were giving deals when they were losing money, when they didn't have, what they have now.
So remind me, did we
now
talk
it's time to
about...
be greedy and shit.
Did we talk about the Captain Toad trial last week on the podcast? I can't remember.
No,
You mentioned it. You
you
brought
mentioned
it
it,
up.
but we didn't really talk about it.
So
Wait,
yeah,
what was there to say?
what's there to say? So you fucking... I know it's only $20 a year, or the family, whatever the family plan is, 50, 60.
35.
Yeah, for the base. That's right.
Yeah.
So a port of a game from 2014 that's done selling. I mean, let's be real here. That game probably been done selling for a couple years. I guarantee
this
you couldn't
boosted
find that
sales of-
fucker anywhere in stores.
Nah.
So Nintendo, instead of doing like the other many other companies, here's a free game. You're a Nintendo Switch Online member. Here, as long as you have a membership, you can play this game. No, it's play it for within this 7-day period.
yeah.
Well, that's just bullshit.
It's like, and I
I'm
Nobody's
sorry.
buying Captain
Asking
Toad
for
today.
free shit.
Just give that shit away, man.
I will say, because of this, my stepdad bought it, so and then now my mom's playing it. So a copy did sell because of this trial.
how
To
did
be
he
fair.
get a copy? Did he go on eBay or something?
They just wanted an eShop.
Oh, exact. That's my exact tweet. I think I said was because Robert
much
Rule
was it?
2
Was
was calling him out.
Was it $40?
Oh, I don't know.
I think it's probably.
I legit. I think I said that earlier.
Somebody
that
get
I
out their
managed to
Switch.
get
How
on
much is-
Walmart
how much
for
is it?
$7?
Pull it out.
$4.
I
$4.
got mine. You don't got to get up.
That was
So
amazing.
It's
Robert
literally
Rule
just-
2
You
was
found Captain
like,
Toad at Walmart for $4.
Remember, I was
Yeah, they
saying
had that price
They had
issue.
that price error,
Oh,
and they gave
the glitch
they gave,
thing.
dude, they gave the full game
Yeah.
plus the DLC for $4. It was
Yeah, okay,
amazing.
but that was a glitch. I was gonna say, like,
because Robert
it
Rule
was a glitch,
2
but
was
that
like,
worked.
he tweeted, he's like, Nintendo, you could have just given us the whole game for free, the game for free for people who subscribed. And I was like, yeah, like, made some points. I was like, well, they really just want you to get a taste of it.
Yeah.
And there's no way there's any physical copies out there new on the shelf, so you're gonna be directed to the eShop, and you're gonna be paying $40 for it.
Fuck.
I've seen them. I've still seen them in Walmart.
So that's the
Yeah,
main. That's the only reason they put this trial out, was just to try to get some
Oh,
sales.
yeah, I mean, of course, for sure.
But I mean, you're at 100 million consoles. You got games selling 40 million
So?
units, and you're trying to
So?
squeeze out every last fucking penny out of these.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
They're like, you bitches didn't buy a Wii U. We'll
Yep.
like dry you out now.
It's $40. Yeah, $40.
$39.99.
Yeah, it's 40.
My mom
45 for
mom is
the
mom is stuck in one of the levels though. She's
bundle.
having a tough time.
I would
That
pay for
game
Captain
is
Toad
absolute
and
art, by
Kingdom
the way.
Hearts. Ooh.
Like that is
Yeah.
such a great game. Everything,
Pure profit. That's
It's
pure
such a
profit
great
for
game.
Nintendo.
Also, that
Yeah.
game has a demo. So the trial almost seems
Wait,
dumb.
hold on, really?
Yeah, it has a
Oh
demo.
yeah, that's right.
It has a demo.
Stupid.
It has a demo on Switch.
I mean, if I really wanted to, I could have downloaded it and played the Odyssey level,
Odyssey
or
levels?
2 levels, whatever there are, a couple levels.
Do
It's
that
like-
for Luigi's Mansion or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's just another little tiny thing, It's not this big deal. It's not this fun. It's not like, oh my god, I can't support Nintendo after this type of thing. But it's just another little layer in this new Nintendo. That's stuff I don't like, Shit.
For sure.
I don't think they did have a sale on some of their major games
Yeah, actually, I would say the Switch has had the most sales of their major titles.
for digital versions, I believe. It was all digital.
Yeah.
No, you can buy physical on sale.
But I know they were promoting an eShop sale of some of
No,
their
they
bigger
were.
titles.
You're right. They were.
You know,
So-
because that's pure profit. There's no cost for distribution, none of that shit.
Yeah, there's no middleman.
It just gave you Banjo-Kazooie for free digitally.
Yeah, man, for free, dude.
What?
It's right there.
So
I hate retro. Yeah,
I mentioned this
hate it.
before everybody got here.
I
There
hate
was
this fuck.
There was a tweet, and I shit you not, about the Nintendo N64 expansion on the Switch Online, and they're like, somebody was legit asking if it was the 360 version or the N64 version.
I don't get that at all. I don't understand that. Why would anyone ask that? I think it's still.
I don't know.
It is cleaner.
It looks cleaner, but it's obviously.
It's a cleaner version than.
Why would
It's
they-
not widescreen 60.
How would they even have the 360 version? Like,
It doesn't make any sense. It's just like
They were
here's
talking
the
to Microsoft,
N64
Microsoft let them
games,
borrow.
we're giving
Yeah,
you
Microsoft
all-
I was
has it.
surprised
It's not
at
like they
how
don't
clean
have
it was, though. To be honest, as far as like the resolution or the emulation.
It's not as clean as the Xbox one, but it's
I don't
clean.
remember
It's
seeing
not-
that for the other
not that-
N64 games I've seen.
They actually updated it, and Ocarina of Time, that jank-ass water temple
Yeah, they
room.
fixed it,
They actually improved. It's not exactly what it should be, but they actually improved on that. So they can actually work on this and fix this stuff if they wanted to.
Yeah, I think they just wanted to have this stuff out, and they weren't gonna be able to fix it in time. But they're
Yeah.
like, we just want to get these games out. And
Yeah,
then
What's been learned is that it's a single emulator to fit all. But,
Yeah,
But there are a few games that do allow for some customization within them. So there's a few.
So here's
select
the
games
question: does the quote unquote app or whatever it's considered update to add Ocarina, or was it there the whole time and it's just being unlocked?
no, it's updating. It's updating every time.
Yeah, it's
Does
updated
it?
all the time.
Because
Yeah.
I don't remember the Super NES, NES. I don't pay attention to that. I mean,
Yeah,
I
that
have my
updated
stuff.
too.
I have my stuff update automatic when I had my.
Yeah,
No,
it's-
whenever
yeah.
whenever the
It's actually
system
like a
updates
version
for-
update. It's
yeah,
like a
it's just
version update.
the Xbox version of Banjo is not the one you want to play anyway,
Why?
because it has problems.
Wait, it
because-
does?
and it's got Microsoft logos all over it.
Oh,
Yeah, that's one of the problems. It's just weird especially for somebody like me and me and Clock that we just
So
it
Clock,
doesn't look right seeing Microsoft logo and shit floating
did you
around. It
try
just
it? Did you play it?
looks
yet?
Terrible. Yeah, but that I was gonna say one of the things because it's the frame rate's improved, right? So is it 60?
On the
What?
Xbox version.
Yeah.
I think they did make it 60.
Yeah, and the problem is the game, like the cutscenes and all that, is built for 30 frames. So what happens is the fucking mouth will start moving beyond it, like it'll be out of sync.
Yeah.
All the syncing, it has syncing issues because, like I said, it runs faster and the cutscenes are still slower. So that's messed up. But one of the major things that I don't think anybody even talks about is the jiggies. You know, Clock, you know how you get a jiggy and you get a certain number and you leave the level or something and you come back and it tells you your jiggy total. This was your high jiggy total. On the Xbox version, you just keep the same amount of jiggies. Like you go back in, if you left with 30 jiggies, you go back in with 30 jiggies and you finish the rest. So it takes away that that challenge, I guess.
Alright, okay, so
of just clearing the level of jiggies before leaving, or you're screwed or dying.
yeah, I mean, I don't think new people will care about that. But
It's not
you
a
know,
major thing, but for me, like somebody who plays the fucking game like every year, and that's part of the challenge of the game.
That's almost like a save state, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What people were saying is that it was meant to be that way originally, but N64 was having issues and they couldn't do it. But I don't know if that's true or not. And so Microsoft fixed it. But to me, I don't like that. I like the challenge.
What do you guys think about? Because I know I'm pretty sure John Lennon from Digital Foundry was complaining about the border, left and right border being like.
I hate that shit.
What the fuck? Why does it gotta say
It's
P1?
annoying.
Why does
Yeah.
it have to have all this shit? Especially if you have an OLED TV. I mean,
Hate it.
they already proved that like burn-in takes like years of the same image being left on, so it's not. But still, it's just unappealing visually. Just have
It
it
should
be
just
black.
be black. It's distracting.
black.
It's annoying.
Wait, hold on. I
Let me
thought
rewind
wasn't
this.
it Richard? I thought you told me that you could like turn it
No,
off.
you can change. No, because it says all the buttons normally.
Oh,
at the
that's right.
bottom.
Yeah.
But it
You
still
can
says
remove.
P1. This is part of the. This is what you actually see when you play.
Yeah.
And why with this? Why with
If
these
you're
dots?
hoping for that to change, you might as well keep begging for them themes on the Switch.
It's just a dumb.
They'll update it at the same time.
It's just a dumb
Weird
like
design choice.
Nintendo thing. to
Learn
do.
more. Learn more.
Just give me black bars. Give me freaking black
Fuck, do I
bars.
need that?
Yeah, I
It's
don't-
weird
I
because
don't-
it looks
I don't get
clean,
the
but then the
appeal of-
textures in the background look blurry. It's almost a weird. It's almost like the
Well-
Mario 64 effect, where you notice the low detail Mario at certain distance from the camera.
I just don't understand. And then why did they lock you into that one? Like, did they just look at, oh, this looks great? Who is making these decisions?
Yeah, I don't
know.
ever get. I don't ever get the appeal. If the aspect ratios like that, always have black bars for anything. To me,
It's just
It's-
an unnecessary
don't-
thing because it kind of messes with your eyes when you look at it. It's just
Yeah.
it's just one of those small weird choices. It's like why, but
that even
Anyway.
includes for me like fucking honestly like YouTube videos. I know people like to put like their own custom. Fuck off, man. Just put the damn black bars because I'm trying to.
Yeah, like I chop
Trying
that
to make
shit
money
out
off your
in
content,
editing.
Nintendo.
all right. So now it's time to talk about the acquisition, and I thought
Accusations.
we could just go round first and just everybody give their first reaction when they heard the news, and we can get into the deeper stuff later on. But
Like 45 minutes left. Might as-
go ahead, clock
let's,
it.
let's be quicker than Robert.
Why do you think I'm gonna say
Damn.
it?
Hey man,
I have nothing to say, man.
you're the notorious ROB, man. That's what you are.
I know, clock that you said you were having trouble processing it, but what did you come to some kind of thought?
Revelation.
my trouble with processing it is was fundamentally the same thing everyone else was having processing was the amount of money. It's I've already done a video on this, and you'll see me waffling tomorrow when I upload it.
Yeah.
But I said, one of the things I said was, this amount of money is beyond what game it is. There's no one else can compete. It's beyond what the established game in it. Sony can't do that amount of money. Nintendo can't do that amount of money. EA Take-Two, none of these guys could fork over that that amount of money to compete to this. You disagree? To think of anyone
No, I
else?
don't disagree. I'm
He
gonna
Let's
just
say-
give
enjoys
everybody
it.
give their take, and then
But-
we'll talk.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say. I just go ahead and give your take.
Yeah, it's gone beyond the realms of what we perceived gaming to be in terms of game companies and what type of things could come out of these types of acquisitions. It's now for me, as I always said, it's now firmly entered the realms of the mega corporations, and Microsoft is essentially in the best position for that, to be that go-to mega corporation, to start all this off. So at this moment, because of that amount of money, gaming has fundamentally changed in terms of the players who will be perhaps coming into this, because at that amount of money, your competition isn't Nintendo or Sony anymore. Why would they be? They can't compete. It's beyond anything that they'll probably ever be able to do. It's just too much.
Crazy.
So that's what I am.
All right, Robert.
So we're talking about when Nintendo bought Next Level Games, right? That's the company we're talking about.
Right.
I didn't know how much money was
Wow.
that.
Monolith Soft.
No, I legit that blew my mind, and it still blows my mind. Like I now after this, I mean, we know they're focused on the whole Game Pass and all that's what they want to do, but I feel like with this, if they really wanted to, like Xbox would fucking dominate. They could dominate if they really wanted to. Like, imagine having Call of Duty and Minecraft exclusive alone. If they really wanted to just fuck everybody, that's it. We're just doing this, dude. They would. Oh my god. I don't know. It just to see them own Activision and stuff. It was a company that you never thought about that they would ever be on the list of
I
getting
wonder,
acquired.
well, maybe time in the future will tell. I'll just be curious to find out if they were approached or if they were out looking to sell.
Oh, we already know. Activision
Activision said they were
said
looking.
that they were looking to be acquired.
Why? That's
This
crazy.
it's Activision. Like, why were they? Like, this is so bizarre.
Why
Because
were
they were
Because
toxic.
they
They're
made
in
shit.
trouble.
Because of the whole the lawsuits and everything that they're.
I don't think we realize how bad that situation
Everything was plummeting on the underside.
Well, I know
when it
Blizzard
comes to money.
people close to the World of Warcraft community haven't been liking what Blizzard's new
Well, I think a lot
CEOs
of
and
things
stuff have been
getting
doing.
delayed. Well, they've been getting delayed games because people don't even want to work there like that, which is understandable, So that's the biggest positive is I really hope that Microsoft will turn it around and really.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about
shut
that
shit
stuff.
down. It's kind of the big thing.
All right, Retro,
That's
what was your first reaction?
I mean, whenever like a company buys another company, I usually have the same reaction, and now more so than anything. Like, no matter what they say with how it will affect the games coming out on what platform, that really doesn't matter. I mean, we all here play on everything, to that extent, it doesn't really matter. I just don't like the principle behind it, where I feel like it's like they're trying to seize too much control, Like, I feel at this point, the gaming market is like kind of free in the sense that anything can kind of happen, like this company can do that, whatever, we're like we've been like coming to a point where companies have been like really working together, like I had a tweet, like you can play like Days Gone, like a PlayStation exclusive, like on the Windows system with your Nintendo controller and that kind of shit. I felt we were slowly coming to an age where everything just felt like really open, and I feel such a massive acquisition like this, it just screams like it's about control for me, and I don't like that idea where one person can control everything so much. And people can say, yeah, it's not about control, nothing is going to happen. But I mean, you already somewhere behind the scenes had PlayStation crawling to Xbox, like can we keep that Call of Duty on the system?
Yeah.
You
Is
know,
that
like
funny?
it is still
I
controlled
think
no
that's
matter
hilarious.
what,
But
It's
and it
crazy.
affects everything. And it's just dangerous when one company can decide like you're not getting this, we're doing this. You know, like it's just that's going to snowball into something that we can't even foresee yet, and I don't like that idea.
I'm on
here's the
just
thing,
to add
guys.
quickly, I'm on the complete opposite side of you in terms of that freedom. The only freedom in the industry right now is mostly just within these. The AAA scene has been a corporate ball and chain since the mid-90s, and it's gotten worse and worse and worse and worse. It has not gotten better in any way, shape, or
Specifically
form.
with Activision, remember what happened to Beanox and Toys for Bob? What they were told they were going to be doing? Work on Call of Duty. Work on Call of Duty. Support Call of Duty. That's what those guys were being forced into doing. And so that's going to change now. So that is good.
That is good.
Hey,
Yeah,
the
it's good,
greatest
good.
thing that because you mentioned Toys for Bob, like if this is how it has to be, then I'll see it as a positive. Because the first thing that was trending the next day was fucking Skylanders, man, and my heart went like, oh,
Well,
they
Yeah.
want
well,
it
I don't
back
know if
and
you
shit. So
I don't know if you saw Phil
No,
Spencer.
don't get it twisted. There is going to be bad. There's good, but there's also going to be bad consequences to this. So
Well, I don't know if you saw, but Phil Spencer literally was like, he looked at his IP lineup, and,
Yeah.
and Phil Spencer just said he likes games, man, and he's like, man, you got Guitar Hero, you got all these things. He's like, let's bring it back. Like he was like I want to
he
bring.
said it about Activision. He's like, I want to see those IPs come back from when I was a kid, which is basically 80s, like all the 80s IPs that Activision have been around a long goddamn time. People forget. They didn't just start making Call of Duty games. They were, they were around a long time. They have
I
a
used to
lot of
love
IPs.
seeing that Activision logo pop up always and stuff. Because like back
Yeah.
in the day, I mean, it
Arcade.
wasn't like Capcom status, but an Activision game was just a great fucking game back in the day.
Yeah. They were one of the first companies to be allowed, that basically allowed themselves to have a company and a name, and not just be some programmer under Atari with no name and no status. They were one of the first. They were one of the first third parties out there. So.
But then like you were saying that all these games, even though they let them make Crash Bandicoot 4 and stuff, they're right after that they're like, okay, that's it. You made that one game. We're now putting you Warzone. It's like fucking hell, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, Call of Duty isn't what it was, but it's still pretty popular. But anyway, T, what was your just initial reaction? I mean, I'm gonna give mine before I even knew any of the details type stuff. That's kind of where I'm gonna start.
Well, I think I tweeted not tweeted it, but I put it in our chat. I said Microsoft ain't messing around. I was in shock, like everybody else was in shock, because that is a lot of goddamn money. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Say that the 68.7 billion
Yeah.
was transferred in cash.
You can help a country.
Gosh.
You could save a few countries with that kind of money.
Cash.
Like that is a lot of coin.
Yeah.
Can I have 0.001 of that?
That's not the Xbox division now. This is
who got that
Microsoft.
money? Like,
Yeah, this is Microsoft.
No, it definitely.
And here's the thing. They're not done. They said they have another 60 billion or so to spend.
see,
They're
that's
not
the
done.
part I don't like.
That's the
Yeah, but-
scary part.
Well, that's the thing is like that. Yeah, I mean, they could end up buying. Now at that point, everyone else is lower than Activision in terms of cost,
Yeah.
so they could buy anybody.
Now it
you
just depends on if the company's in any
Everyone
wants to-
looked at that price that they paid, and like I said, the video game industry looked up and said, "We are absolutely nothing compared to that money.
Yeah.
So
You're nothing compared to that money."
before I
Microsoft's
say,
worth billions.
so this is the
More
last
than Nintendo's worth.
Nintendo.
Damn.
I wonder what Nintendo's worth.
It's like
61.
61.
Really?
It's like 61.
Damn.
Yeah.
So this is the last Activision game I bought. I paid $40. Call of Duty Ghosts. I've never owned a Blizzard game in my life. Never bought one. I don't know if I.
You didn't get Crash?
No. Because what was the Insane Trilogy? Yeah. Crash is one of my least favorite mascots. I still hate Crash, so I don't care at all about any of the games. Any of the IPs mean nothing to me. Like, so I don't care. Like, Microsoft, fine. Like, own those IPs doesn't matter to me. But without knowing any of the details, and just thinking, wow, Microsoft's just they're just throwing money around now. Like, I didn't know Activision was taking bids. Maybe no one would have bought it, but that's later. My initial reaction was, holy shit, you just bought Bethesda, which to me that was borderline. I was like, all right, I don't, they have a solid first party lineup of studios.
That
now.
was big already, though.
With Bethesda, I was like, all right, you got you can compete now with first party studios. Like, I was pretty much okay with that. I wasn't like super excited, but I wasn't anti. It's like, now you're buying Activision and Blizzard. I was like, that's the kind of big corporate move that the company that bought the company I work for did, and they bought a bunch of companies, and now they're like trying to sell some because they bought companies they shouldn't have, and now like those people are losing their job, or if no one buys them, they're just gonna shut them down. So I have a little more of a personal attack to like to big corporations just buying other ones. And my immediate reaction, no bullshit, I didn't look into it at all, was I'm no longer going to support Microsoft. I don't like this I don't like this. To me, this is scary. What's Capcom going to say no to if they offer them $10 billion? Like, what's Sega going to do if they offer them money? Like,
you can't. I think one important thing to highlight here is that you can't fully blame Microsoft for acquiring a publisher.
Capitalism, baby. That's what we are.
You can't fully blame them for because one thing that you know me, I've ranted about this for since you guys have known me, and I've ranted about it to my friends for fucking years. The video game industry in terms of developers, the amount of talent that we have lost, or that have been gobbled up, or that have been closed down or consolidated, has been a gradual process, which is why I disagree with Retro. When you come to the AAA scene, it's been a gradual process over years and years and years. What many people didn't consider is that how many of these old studios would end up under one umbrella, and that one umbrella in some respects was Activision, who had a lot of parties underneath them. Same as like EA, they got a lot of parties underneath them. So once one of these publishers,
consolidation, what you're talking
about. Yeah, exactly. Gobbled up, you lose a vast wealth of the industry in one purchase. That's the biggest thing here. It's all led up to this moment where a mega corporation has just gone, this amount of money means fucking nothing to us. That's why we could just do it.
Yeah, we'll get into the potential like good and bad stuff, but that was just my gut knee-jerk reaction. I'm like, I got 300 set aside that I was gonna put toward the Series X. I'm gonna spend that on something else now. Like, that was my knee-jerk reaction. I just didn't see the need, but now that I know that they were looking to sell, I will say I would rather have Microsoft over Tencent any day of the week, every day of the week.
Okay, thank you. I was gonna get to that,
but it doesn't mean they would have bought them. Well, no one might have bought them. No one might have. They might not have been bought. So
no, I think they would have been bought, and one of the reasons why they were bought is because who else can get involved? They would have started
breaking it up.
Amazon
or Google. Yeah, what if Facebook would have bought them? Would that have been a good thing? I don't think so.
I think that's one of the reasons that this has happened. You're in these realms. You don't pay that amount of money for competition against Sony and Nintendo. You don't pay that amount of money. It's fucking obscene. Absolutely obscene. To pay that amount of money to worry about Sony and Nintendo in hardware sales. Right? It's gone beyond that now.
Yeah.
So it would have been a Google. It would have been a Facebook. It would have been an Amazon.
All right, let's get Terrell's reaction, and then we'll go into the
crazy.
I would say my initial reaction was very concerned, and it had nothing to do with whether games are going to be exclusive to Xbox or not. None of that mattered. It's funny because you guys mentioned the whole Toys for Bob situation. I don't very much look at Microsoft being any better in terms of handling game studios. That's me personally. But from what I've seen through their games, they have a bad tendency of taking good developers and funneling them into titles that they probably could be better used elsewhere. So my main concern was, and it wasn't even for me, because the last game I bought was fucking Crash, which now won't show up because it's too fucking blue. But Crash was the last game I got. So it's not like me personally, I wouldn't have been affected that much. My main concern was for people who like a lot of different Activision titles. I don't see them doing anything. I imagine them doing the same shit, just slightly differently, where they funnel their smaller studios, some of the smaller studios within Blizzard and Activision, into like bigger games. Like, granted, you might get better Call of Duties as a result, maybe a better World of Warcraft, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna see another Spyro game or another Crash game or another Skylanders. Like,
Hey, don't say that shit over here. Nah,
no, I'm just saying, if you looking at Xbox's track record for the last,
I know what
I
you
would
mean.
say 2 generations, I don't trust that they're gonna fucking actually do what some people think they're gonna do, which is make this big variety of titles.
I mean,
That
because
was
in the
my
end,
concern.
they've been killing off a lot of studios. and
Exactly.
games,
That was
yeah.
the problem. Their track record to me isn't any better. That's my personal opinion. But that was my main concern off the jump. And nothing to do with exclusivity, and it had nothing to do with games, because I personally don't play a lot of Activision or Blizzard games. It was just that for people who like those IPs, don't think things are going to immediately be better just because Xbox has them, because they'll do the same shit that Activision was
It's gonna
doing.
take time, even if
Here's
they.
my nuance on that. You'd be right. You'd be 100% right. I would be feeling exactly the same if this was Microsoft or 2016,
Yeah.
because that's what they did.
Yeah.
But I think the reason they're able to spend all this money now is they're getting serious, right?
They better be.
They know what they got to do.
I wonder if they plan on.
The Xbox vision was almost gone. Microsoft was like, you guys aren't making any money. We'll sell you to Amazon or some shit. We're not gonna do it.
Yeah, the
Well, I
Xbox
don't know if
One
it was
was
Phil
horrendous.
Spencer or the board convinced them that, hey, this is the play we should be making. And that's why it's a different Microsoft. There is a Microsoft that would have concerned me about that. But they say, we're not gonna mess with these guys. They're gonna be independent studios, they're gonna do what they want. They just have to report to us at the end of the day.
Well, I mean,
And
they've
so-
been doing that, and I will say Anime Rapper makes a good point, and that's the old Microsoft. But there's a more recent acquisition where they didn't clean house with the management, and that was 343, to the point where they delay Halo Infinite, and you hear that it's just a fucking clusterfuck of mismanagement, and that was recent. That was 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Halo.
I mean,
Infinite when it came
let's be real though. Like I know we're thinking about like what they're gonna kill off this studio. We're not gonna get this game. Maybe we will. But I mean, like Activision was going down so fucking fast. If Microsoft hadn't stepped up, we don't know what would have happened.
Yeah, they
to
might
any
have-
of these games.
I mean, Call of Duty still would have probably came out, and who knows?
I mean, Overwatch 2 is about to jump, and that shit was getting very edgy because of all the lawsuit stuff.
Yeah, I don't even know
And
if they-
Overwatch 2 is gonna rake them in so much fucking cash, it's obscene.
If they do it right, but
Oh, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
Matt, that's the other issue. The issue was not only are you gonna support these IPs, are you gonna give us good versions of these IPs?
Yeah.
Okay, but what are you getting right now? Not a goddamn thing. At least there's some hope, right? I can't say the game's gonna be good, but at least everybody's not gonna be working on fucking Call of Duty. They're gonna be able to do more things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm clinging to.
It's huge.
Because before we weren't getting shit. Blizzard is a fucking shell of its former self at this point, right? Like,
Yeah.
people want so much from Blizzard that they can't provide because Activision had the fucking knee on their fucking skull and they couldn't do anything. So
we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
I mean,
if that...
as a
Again,
Blizzard,
it can't be worse. It can't, because we weren't getting shit, and they were. The situation was pretty dire. So
well, we were getting stuff. I mean, as a Blizzard fan,
yeah, there was
we were at the end of the day, we're still getting StarCraft 2. We were getting Diablo 3. We're getting Overwatch. We're getting all these games. The point I go back to is because of these earlier acquisitions and the way the industry changed, the Blizzard we have today, it's like the Rare we have today. It's almost just like Blizzard in name. The original founders are gone.
Yeah.
Blizzard North is gone. Blizzard North are the ones who done Diablo 2 and stuff. They're gone. So when we mention World of Warcraft today, these are different people. It's not just the reason why because
Yeah.
of Activision, Warcraft has gone down. We have completely different amounts of staff gone, and creators gone, and creators gone because Activision fucked up. Blizzard didn't want to be there. Same thing happened with Rare. These guys didn't want to.
Man, you're reading my brain here. I was gonna say, look at Rare, right? That was one of the companies that, honestly, I think Nintendo knew the writing was on the wall with Rare.
Yeah.
When they got rid of them,
because they already had key people that already left.
So it was not going to be the same Rare. I mean, just look at. I know people like Star Fox Adventures. That game is not great. It's not a good game. It's not a Rare game. It's not in Rare form. Okay. So I think Nintendo knew the writing was on the wall. But look at Sea of Thieves, a travesty. The Kraken is lacking, right? When it first came out, it's one of the most popular games for streamers right now. It is way better than what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk about, what could have transpired, the old Microsoft to what they have now. I mean, I think Sea of Thieves is a good example of how they're taking shit more seriously when it comes to them cultivating.
I'd like to come back in 5
And
years.
I don't even play Sea of Thieves. I just know this from being in.
Well, Terrell had an
Yeah,
interesting discussion going on his stream. We were he was bringing up was it 2018 when they bought Ninja Theory, or was that 2019?
Yeah, I was just looking at the
2019.
titles we got. Yeah.
And they bought 343, they bought Ninja Theory, they bought Playground Games, which everybody thought they had already owned. They started the Initiative. Did they buy the Coalition?
Double Fine as well.
Double Fine.
Yeah.
I think they have Coalition, yeah.
And that
I
was
think they got Coalition.
it was 3 years ago. It was E3 2018, so it'll be 4 years this E3. And some of those studios were already deep in projects. There hasn't really been any fruit bared from those.
That's
Hellblade 2 is probably the next one that's going to release, 4 plus years later. We had Grounded from the guys, the Fallout guys, wasn't it?
Do you think
Yeah.
Hellblade 2 is going to be on the same scale that Hellblade 1 was on?
I mean, visually, it's going to be on a whole nother level. Hopefully, gameplay and stuff is advanced. I'll have to see. I know that they're really pushing for the tech side of it. I don't know about gameplay and stuff.
All I'm saying is, because I know T says it can't get any worse. I would stand to argue that because we don't know,
Well,
and that's
how you
the
get
issue.
worse than not getting any games? Again, Toys for Bob, they were done. They were not happy with the sales of Crash 4.
Right.
All right, you guys are Call of
And
Duty
this
4.
one-
So they weren't making anything else. They're done.
But here's my
Yeah.
question: Was that
They still made Crash 4.
Yeah,
Well,
but but the thing is that
the Crash 4 is kind of a weird example because that at that point that's on the sales, and I don't know how much. I don't know how much Crash 4 sold, whether or not that was based in because it wasn't.
No one gives a fuck in those markets. No one gives a fuck about Crash Bandicoot anymore.
No.
I think
but
it still sold relatively
Twitter.
well.
The Insane Trilogy did
I-
well, though.
I just don't know how well, but my whole thing was
I'm
this.
curious. I'm curious
is
how
that
much it sold.
because Juice brought it up. The thing I was bringing up is that even the game output from the last 3 years has been great, and the games we did get, either some of them were okay, or didn't hit the radar at all whatsoever. I can't even. I think we named.
I had to
like,
keep reminding you of some games, like Bleeding Edge was Ninja
yeah,
Theory's
because I don't know what the
first game.
I forgot what the fuck that was. I'll be real with you. It was like, what in the hell is that?
That was Ninja Theory's
And-
first game since they were bought from
And it was,
Microsoft.
and it's one of those games I feel like that just didn't hit the mark. Even Sea of Thieves, you see Thieves as an
But did
example, but Sea of Thieves
Microsoft-
took way so fucking long, and it wasn't even that engaging of a game.
But
to
yeah,
begin
I
with.
get what he's about to say though.
They
Like,
turned
I mean,
around.
Microsoft didn't hinder Bleeding Edge. They let the studio make the game they wanted to make, and that's the game Ninja Theory made. And it no one played it, so that wasn't
I'm
Microsoft's
just confused
fault.
about like what's like the urgency, because we're waiting on a sequel to a game that already had an engine. We're waiting 5 years.
I think the point
for
was
Breath of the
like
Wild 2.
people were thinking that this is gonna change Microsoft more quickly than
Well,
And it's not.
again, that's
I think you're looking at 5 years before you start seeing any.
That's the thing. Like it's
but
not
yeah,
even.
but
It's not.
Microsoft is. That's why they're doing this, because they're playing the long game. They're not playing this.
Yeah,
You
well,
mean-
that's just what he was saying. Like,
Playing
it's not going to
the
be
You mean
2
what's
years
the
from now.
urgency in buying Activision? You mean?
And it also means we don't really have.
Yeah, Call of Duty is still going to be on PlayStation for at least 2 more years.
That's why I said. That's why I said my concern had nothing to do with exclusivity.
We don't really have like what's the word, like not a template or something of, hey, you bought these studios and they, we've had a few just minor games like Grounded and Bleeding Edge. We haven't really seen the fruits of the labor of Microsoft buying these companies and giving them money and supposedly this freedom to make the games they want. We haven't really, that hasn't bared any fruit yet.
Yeah,
I mean,
my point was that to me, that's a product of Microsoft's transition to what they were before. Again, they were about to be sold off.
Almost argue.
This is a last 3-year, 4-year even transition to where xCloud, Game Pass are huge priorities. So they're trying to put all this shit together. That's why they're acquiring studios to make Game Pass more, because that's a lot of people's complaint about Game Pass. Well, these games are, old and blah blah blah. Well, there's going to be a lot of big franchises that are going to be day and date now, on Game Pass. So that's part of the reason they're trying to make it more value, add more value to it. So, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
My 2 points were this. One, I'm not going to say whether or not it was a good thing that Microsoft scooped them up until at least 5 years from now, where we see some sort of results from it, because we don't know. I
said good and bad. I'm saying this is what the good is. The good is this fucking company is not, at least from what Microsoft. Because here's what happened. A lot of people don't realize this. Microsoft was in the throes of dealing with Activision and acquiring them, and then this whole toxic shit came out, right? And that's when, you guys remember when Phil Spencer was like, "We got to reevaluate our relationship." We didn't realize what he was talking about. He was talking about buying these motherfuckers. But what happened was they went back to the table, and it was cheaper now because they devalued themselves with this whole scandal. So that's what I was saying about Retro. The price did come down. It was more. The price came down because of the scandal.
That's why I asked, because it's like such an absorbent amount of money. I couldn't even imagine that it would have been higher.
Yeah, it was more.
And then like
people don't think about King. King is part of the deal too. King makes fucking billions of dollars in mobile.
Oh yeah,
billions.
Yeah, that's
so.
They obviously think they're going to be making some money.
That's why they were really expensive to acquire.
So you both Candy Crush and Call of Duty, good shit.
I'm just saying my core issue kind of boiled down to, again, the reason why I even used the older games as an example was that when they acquired those other studios and people were making the same claims about, oh shit, Microsoft's about to have these banging games, and then the next few years we got either okay or like mediocre titles.
I said you weren't wrong. I said that's the first thing.
I'm not directly challenging you on that. I'm just saying that's where my concern comes in. That from what we've already seen in the track record, it's been either okay or mediocre or nothing where you're like, oh shit.
And the best game, they don't even own the studio for. The best game that came out, Ori, they didn't purchase Moon Studios.
That's why I was kind of like, I said I was concerned.
Anyway, Robert.
So, didn't it just have 2 Game of the Year contender games this last fall?
That's actually what I was about to say to you. That I kind of feel like
had a couple of goaty contenders there.
You're looking at 2018, 2019, 2020 even.
Halo 5 wasn't a goaty contender. That's for goddamn sure.
Mm-hmm. You're not looking at the past 2 years, where they did have the literally games that were, Game of the Year nominees type stuff, like Halo and Forza Horizon 5. And then you have your Psychonauts, which they gave them plenty of fucking time to make Psychonauts 2 also. It's like in the end of the day, I think you're going to see by the end of this generation, specifically this generation, Microsoft's going to have a fucking hell of a lineup. Like they're going to have it's only starting now. Like Halo Infinite, Forza Horizon 5, this Psychonauts last year. You had other shit. It's like legit. They're letting them do it and I feel like if anyone else owned them, it would have been different
Yeah,
because like,
Psychonauts 2, they came out and said, we wouldn't have been able to make this game if Microsoft didn't come
that's
in
what I'm saying.
and
Like,
fund
like
this shit.
literally, with Psychonauts 2, I mean, they let them literally work on that game, and for a lot of people, it was very much worth it. You know, and you can't ignore that game just because it is on PS4 because they clearly did help them out. You know, and then even they let in these. Don't they own the Cuphead studio, right?
Yeah.
They even let them work on DLC for the past 5 years. They're letting them do that, and I think that's fine.
Yeah,
Let
that's
them.
the good.
Let
That's
them,
the
you
good
know?
Cuphead
side
show
of it.
on Netflix.
That's the
Yeah,
good
like,
side of it. But just to get back to the immediate future, like they're still going to be crunching for Call of Duty because you can't stop that ship. So
No.
they're still
Well,
going to have
I
to
don't know.
make.
You say
Well,
that, but are
they
you
say-
sure?
yeah,
Well,
they
that's the
actually-
one thing that'll be a sign if they say no Call of Duty this year. That's a sign that they're doing something. That they're really making an effort to make sure that
I
this.
don't know, but
Well, I think the whole thing is
I wouldn't be
you
surprised.
you could, especially now with Microsoft, they can truly get away with, your Warzone is the Warzone
Yeah,
is the big
Warzone's is out there,
thing.
so
Warzone is a never-ending, never dying thing. But then you could actually, okay, let's pause a year and actually, that would be monumental if they do that.
Yeah.
But like,
you can get back to making like Call of Duty games. You know what I mean? Like we
Yeah.
used to get.
Or you could just.
because the problem is that like with like for instance it becomes the latest Call of Duties have become Frankenstein projects like with Vanguard they have it where you have Treyarch working on zombies, they have the Sledgehammer Games or whatever working on multiplayer, the campaign was worked on by Raven Software. Like what the fuck, dude?
This
Why
young
the
man
hell
knows his stuff.
like
Yeah.
why the like
But
why
I
the
think
hell
Call of
does-
Duty. I don't know how many more years the damn Call of Duty has left in it anyway.
The worst one.
Dude, it was Vanguard is the best selling
The
game of
worst
this
one
year.
is the best selling one.
Was
So
it?
the one that the like people forget, like everyone, we see this every year. I don't know how much.
How much
year.
did it
Then
sell?
every year, how much did it sell? Enough to be the top selling of all time of the year. That's all you need, dude.
Top
Happens
selling
every
game
year.
period. You're
People
talking.
talk shit about Call of
Of the
Duty every
year. It is
goddamn
literally
year,
the best
and it's
selling
the
game of
highest
the
selling
year so
game
far.
everywhere on
And in
everything.
the end of the day,
Yeah, I would agree.
like
Call of Duty is
and-
going to just keep selling.
and
It does not. Call of Duty's quality doesn't matter. It literally will just keep selling for the fuck of it.
There's,
But
there's
that's
a
the
reason
thing.
why
That's what I
Sony
wanna
decided
say, though.
to buy
It's like-
the
Marketing.
the
the
DLC
rights
things,
to-
yeah.
Because
Marketing
why
Why,
would
rights.
you-
why,
you know,
why
you're
would
thinking
Sony?
like-
Why would Sony not like how they literally would? Hey, Microsoft, you still gonna let it? Of course they like. That's their price. That's their price. Their cow is not. Their cash
Come
cow
on,
is not
baby.
Uncharted. Their
Come
cash
on,
cow is not
baby.
Uncharted. It's fucking Call of Duty. It's Grand Theft Auto. That's
It's the
the only
highest selling
thing.
game on PlayStation
It's-
consoles.
It's Minecraft. Minecraft. It's called. Those are the cash cows for those consoles.
And
You know
then
what I'm saying?
Microsoft-
Like,
That's
it's
what
always
I'm thinking
been.
though,
Man,
because you're
but
saying you're thinking like, oh, now that Microsoft has them, maybe they take a year off, make a better game. I'm thinking they might double down on that shit, add more studios
Yeah,
to it.
there's
You're gonna
no
get
reason-
more of them and
Yeah, they
cheaper.
could totally do that. I'm
Yeah.
just saying they might not.
They might not. And my big thing is that, like, it only started recently, a few years ago, when they started bringing multiple, like, usually it was just Treyarch worked on Black Ops 1. Infinity Ward worked on Ghost. It was just, that was it. Instead of having,
Right.
now we have 4 studios working on different sides. That's why you've been having these kind of Frankenstein.
So-
like,
Toys for
projects.
Bob, really? Toys for Bob working on Call of Duty? Get the fuck
Well,
out
Ghost says that Treyarch,
that's
Infinity
the
Ward,
stupidest
Raven,
shit.
and Neversoft.
Enox.
So that
Where-
was
no, well-
2014.
Yeah, but I don't know, because I remember looking up, I don't know how that works, because I don't remember hearing.
Well,
anything about
Treyarch did the
'cause
Wii U version. That's why they're
Oh,
on there.
okay. There you go.
So-
that's really okay.
Here's the big question, and we can talk about. I want to talk about the
The
potential,
hypocrisy?
the potential of other companies going down. Microsoft just going all out with this, or what people keep saying. Oh, Sony, how's Sony gonna counter? Like I don't know that they would need to or want.
People-
Like, are they?
can't
Do they
afford
need
to.
to buy some
Well,
big company? But anyway,
well, the
before we
way-
get
the
into
way-
that, let me.
Oh, okay.
I just
Bye.
like if Microsoft, they just spent 68 billion. You said they got Candy Crush and they're making billions. At some point, they're gonna need a return on the investment.
Yeah.
Obviously, in the meantime, they're still gonna put Call of Duty out on PlayStation.
They're a $2 trillion company.
I know, but you don't spend 68 billion to not have it turn into anything. You don't just throw
Yeah,
it
that's a
away.
hell
You
of an
say not
investment.
anything. Do you know how much Game Pass makes?
We don't. What do they have? 20 million subscribers?
25
25.
now. 25 now. And times
They're
that by
steadily going
what,
Well, you
15?
don't times 10, and
Times
then
10, you want to say?
times
15.
12 months. So
Is a lot.
the question is,
talking billions. But go ahead.
at some point, because he said, obviously it's gonna stay on PlayStation for the immediate future because they already have deals. Sony already
Yeah.
probably paid for the marketing
Yeah.
deals. But at some point, they're just they could pull that off of PlayStation. And we know how the fan base is for Call of Duty. They don't really care. They'll jump ship. They did it from 360 to PS4.
Yeah.
So, well, that's going to be the interesting thing if they do make that kind of decision for specifically Call of Duty.
Yeah.
What
I think they
the
will.
outcome
Why
would be,
shouldn't they?
and how people
That will literally be devastating. I mean, I
We
was
spent $68 billion.
that
Well, you
will
can do that and just
But
keep
do you
doing the same
think
thing?
is the 20 million PS4 or PlayStation Call of Duty guys just going to immediately switch over? I mean, that's the question. That's going to
Oh,
be the
they
interesting part.
did it. They did it for
They
the
did it. You just
360
said
to
it.
the.
Yeah,
You just said they did that.
There is no loyalty.
They'd have to
there.
do the transition probably I would think, with a new generation.
Yeah. I
Kind
can
of like
see,
the
yeah.
start of a generation.
for
That'd be
sure.
kind of a.
Well, this
smart-
is the start of a generation.
Yeah.
How many people have
Yeah.
PS5s?
Yeah, but they're not going to do it for 2-3 years, probably.
Yeah, they're not gonna do it for that. No,
Who
it'd,
cares
probably,
what the-
it'd be
yeah.
the generation afterwards.
How long?
They
This
could
generation is
try
going
it.
to be long. This is going to be a long generation.
Yeah,
Like
I
how
mean, they
long,
could do
T?
it.
At least 7 years, if not more.
Shit.
I would imagine. Well, okay,
And honestly,
maybe.
what Microsoft is doing, I don't know if Sony's going to do the same thing. They're just going to, this is the Series G. This is the Series, that's what they're going to do. And you're going to be able to keep playing the same games to a point, like you would do PC. And that's why they did the Series thing, because it's gonna
Yeah.
they're gonna drop another box in a couple years and call it the Series XP or some shit. I don't
If you
know.
got like the series, they got the
Yeah.
Series G. They're gonna buy.
They probably should
Nintendo
start at
with
A.
the Series GX.
They should have started at A, yeah. But
This Xbox Series A and then Xbox Series
So
B.
let's
and
let's
then
go down
C and
the
D.
the rabbit hole of like worst case scenarios, not just with Microsoft buying other companies, but other big companies now scrambling to buy all what's left of the bigger third party publishers and developers. That's where it really gets scary when you think
that's
about
what I
it.
want to get into.
I will say
That's why I
this.
got my notebook here.
I very much believe that Xbox will stay in the Western Hemisphere for its acquisitions moving forward. That's a
Yeah.
theory of mine. I think if anyone's gonna grab the Japanese companies, it'll probably be between Sony, more likely Sony, but I could see Nintendo grabbing.
Well,
a couple.
let's just stand.
Hey, just insider knowledge. Microsoft is eyeing Square Enix, just so you know.
Oh, I swing on somebody.
They're-
Just to be clear
Yeah,
though,
I
I want to be clear. Like, I don't want any more acquisitions from any. I don't want Sony to come back and buy somebody. I don't want Nintendo to step up and buy somebody. I don't want.
But
Like,
what do you do when the gauntlet is thrown? Because the gauntlet.
just let them have it. Like I don't want this to become
you're asking
a
a
scramble to buy
The
big
gauntlet-
companies.
The gauntlet didn't just get thrown, by the way. Let me just go through this real quick here. Final Fantasy VII Remake, where can you play that at?
PC.
Final
PlayStation,
Fantasy
PC.
14, where can you play that?
PC.
You play like
Final Fantasy, or excuse me, Street Fighter 5. I played
PC.
Street Fighter 4 on my 3DS. Where can I play Street Fighter 5?
PlayStation,
Are
PC.
you just saying PlayStation? Like are you trying to? Because it's also
I
Spider-Man.
thought that was on Steam.
That's
PlayStation.
I used to be able to play Spider-Man on Wii U. Wii U! Had Spider-Man games. Can't play them nowhere else now.
Yeah.
They're gone.
So you're talking about
Wolverine.
buying exclusive
Where's
versus
Wolverine at?
companies.
PS5.
Who got
PS5.
Wolverine?
PS5.
I mean, this is we're talking about a superhero character that everybody should be able to play. That was my complaint with EA and Star Wars. Everybody should be able to play fucking Star Wars.
Right.
That pissed me off. Because I used to be able to play Star Wars on everything I had. All right?
You still can. Just they're all made by a shit company.
Well, can you?
Wait.
You can't play it on Switch, but it's not like Star Wars isn't available
Right.
on an Xbox.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess to be fair, you still play a lot. They still releasing like the older Star Wars.
I'm just
games,
saying,
like,
when
at
we're
least
talking
for the
about
minute.
throwing gauntlets,
We can play Kitty Star Wars soon.
What I'm saying to you is that this is the best that Sony can afford to do. They only have 20 billion cash on hand, and you're dealing with a company that has 300 billion cash on hand. They're operating they're doing the same things, just at different levels.
Yeah, but Nintendo
And-
does the same thing. They bought
They bought
buy
Monolith Soft,
exclusive.
they bought
Well, but they buy exclusive games like the Marvel
Actually, they bought Ultimate Alliance.
Ultimate
Alliance
Alliance. That's that's been happening since the days of gaming. Like, but as far as like buying
I guess
huge,
I'm assuming the issue is more so, at least with Juice, is that it turned from money heading games to money heading companies now.
Yeah.
And the problem is Microsoft's playing a game that like literally most companies can't play realistically.
Well, I guess
I'm sorry. What do you want them to do? Like, feel bad?
Can I just say?
I tell you what, Sony didn't feel bad when they did that little ad about how you can trade your games on PS4. They didn't feel bad.
But you're
about
making
that.
this about a Sony versus Xbox. To me, this is just an industry
I'm making about the two dudes at the top, because only one of them gets all the flack since the beginning. Like, Microsoft has always got the flack for this stuff, but Sony used to keep all kind of shit off of N64. Nobody complained about that.
I don't remember. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember people complaining
I can
about like,
understand
Mass
that.
Effect
Well,
being on the
Mario
360.
Sure.
I think people were just happy Microsoft, like, their system had exclusives. Like when the 360 had a bunch of exclusives,
People
like
just didn't.
BioShock initially, Mass Effect. Like, I don't know.
People
What
didn't look
Clockett had something to say.
Oh, okay, I'll let him know.
He's
What?
Go
pondering.
ahead.
Well, to me, it's kind of worse because, like, I played Street Fighter and everything else before. So,
Yeah,
My
one
issue-
thing, like, okay, Sony owns Capcom. And then I can say about that. They got Resident Evil, they got all that stuff. I actually wouldn't be too upset about it. It wouldn't bother me as much. But when you're taking a series that used to be on everything and saying, "Oh, you can't have Part 5, even though you got 1, 2, 3, and 4," to me that's kind of stank. I mean,
That's what everybody's been
it's
doing to
bad all
Nintendo
around.
for the last few years.
Huh?
What is it?
That's what everybody's been doing to Nintendo for the last few years.
Right. Sorry.
Clockton looks like he wanted to had something to say. Now he looks like you have nothing.
It's one of those.
I have plenty to say. I'll just give it up.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
Honestly,
one last thing for me. Okay, Spider-Man, right? You know the tech that goes into those Spider-Man games? Who paid for that?
Fuck if I know.
Oh, I don't know.
Microsoft paid for that. It's the same tech that was in Sunset Overdrive. It's the same engine that they're using now exclusively on Sony games. This shit, it goes back and forth. It's been doing that for decades, and this is just on a bigger level now. Microsoft ain't playing. They're like, all right, we're gonna take the IP you make the most money off of and make it ours. You gonna pay us?
I do want to put this.
That's gangster to me.
Yeah. I do love that they pay them. It's hilarious. It is great, to be honest. That part.
Oh no, I completely understood the
It's pretty
financial
hilarious.
reasoning behind it. I guess the concern more so is with my distrust, and I guess that's really where my concern. Well, like when you brought up Square Enix, my distrust comes from. I already don't trust how you handle things now, let alone you touching companies that don't in a country that doesn't fuck with you. So when I hear Microsoft talking
You mean
about,
like Tencent? You mean like Tencent? Because they got their hands in everybody.
Oh, no.
American, French, every company on the planet.
Hey, look,
that's what I'm worried about.
Look,
Well, they already bought
Well, like, okay,
Platonic, man.
no.
I went to go look at
Snake
I went to
Pass
go look
guys.
The ukulele guys.
I went to go look at the list of how much the companies are because someone actually had to tweeted out a list of it. If they were going for Square is actually in the bottom realm in terms of companies with value. It's like Square's at like 5.6 billion.
They're like $5 billion, right?
Yeah, and Capcom is like 4.9.
That's nothing. That's nothing.
Yeah.
Well, it's nothing compared to the 70 they just spent.
Yeah.
And you talking about they got another 60 billion they're willing to play
They
around
can
with?
probably gobble up all those ones on that list.
That's my concern. No one wants an industry where Microsoft owns everything.
For sure.
Microsoft does.
I mean,
Of course they do.
in a certain way, it's kind of like the food industry. You know, you're thinking there's like a million brands, but there's like 3 people, who own all those million brands.
Uh-huh. Crazy.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing, like
But
T's
that's
point
still
about
three people, not one
console
person.
exclusive. I mean, The original Xbox launch console exclusive. PlayStation came out of the gate. They bought some, paid for some exclusive games. Like they got Final Fantasy VII. I don't know if they had to pay that much or if Square was just like done with Nintendo and the cartridges. Who knows what? It's probably a little both. So that stuff's been happening forever. Like that doesn't even.
Oh, sorry. Well, there was another system out there too called the Sega Saturn that also was getting games kept off of it and helped it to get
I was gonna say, right?
the grave dug on that one.
I've got Wipeout 2097.
You.
Most people don't even know that fucking Wipeout released on a Sega Saturn, right?
I didn't know that.
Most people don't even know it. I got
Oh my
Destruction Derby here, right? Most people didn't know that Destruction Derby released on the Sega Saturn. Do you know what company made those games?
What's
I
the
hear-
name? What's the name?
Do you know what company made those games?
I wanna-
Psygnosis, right?
Psygnosis.
There you go. There you go.
Psygnosis. The British gaming industry, right, has been absolutely ravaged. Absolutely ravaged.
Yeah.
By these mega corporations who have come in and bought them up, all these big publishers, between EA, between Sony, between Microsoft. Most British studios are fucking gone. Yeah, the gaming industry got destroyed a long fucking time ago. Yeah, so when we come to here now, this is what I'm talking about. When we come to
Early
here now,
2000s, mid 2000s.
it's a completely different game because we don't, we're talking Activision Blizzard. We don't have Activision Blizzard anymore.
We're talking IPs mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just talking
Yeah, we're
IPs.
about the IPs.
I feel like I'm always a bit different from other people where I used to have such a passion for the industry itself. It's not just the games. It's the industry itself, the individual developers, the games that came along with it, the passion, the creativity, all this stuff, right? Don't get me wrong, creativity hasn't gone. Yeah, of course we still got creativity there with indies and stuff like that. It hasn't gone. But in terms of the gaming industry that we grew up with, it's fucking dead. It's dead. It's dead. The people who made Sega, they're fucking gone. Yeah, the people who made Capcom, they're fucking gone to other places. It's all so fragmented now and also condensed. It's I just find the whole thing just upsetting. And you could all we could all get excited about what Microsoft might do now with Activision, what they might do with Blizzard and all this stuff. For me, and maybe for for T and stuff like that, the people who were there at the beginning, for all these companies who made these. It's like I got fucking. You know me, I'm an old school game, PC game. I got Myth 2 here, right? Do you know who made Myth 2?
GT Interactive.
Bungie.
Yeah.
Oh, Bungie. Wow.
That's one of the Activision ones, isn't it? That they own.
Everyone knows Bungie. Everyone knows Bungie
Not
for this
anymore.
fucking game, right? This game made the Xbox.
Well, what's Bungie's game?
Is Bungie
Destiny.
Activision?
Destiny. No, they used to be or whatever.
Destiny?
They separated.
Activision.
They separated a
Activision.
few years ago.
So
You have to remember.
who's doing
You have to remember, Bungie were bought then by Microsoft, right? Hence, fucking
Yeah,
Halo.
yeah.
And then they were
Halo was
acquired by
very different.
Activision. Yeah, because all Microsoft wanted Bungie to do was to make Halo fucking games. They said just make Halo games.
Yep.
Just make Halo games. You don't do enough fucking anything else. Bungie weren't happy. They wanted to do something else. So they split off, got bought by Activision. Finally got to make Destiny. Yeah, Activision fucked them over. And now Bungie are off by themselves again, trying to survive just with Destiny 2 and stuff like that.
Sad. That's some sad shit, bro.
But we talk about, it's like, I got it's like another game here. You remember this T, Brute Force, right?
Yeah, I have Brute Force.
Now Brute Force was done by Digital Anvil. And Digital Anvil is here we go. Chris Roberts, right? Chris Roberts is a guy who done like Wing Commander and stuff like that. These are big fucking games, right? Star Lancer. Yeah.
I
Big
have a
box.
Dreamcast.
That came out before
Yeah.
Microsoft bought Digital Anvil. Right? This was the last. Freelancer was the sequel to Star Lancer. That was the last game that they done independently before they done Brute Force. And then as soon as they made Brute Force, Microsoft closed that studio down. Now I'm with Terrell. Microsoft might have made some gains recently in terms of letting some of their developers do some more stuff, right? Some of their IPs going out here. I need to see proof in the fucking pudding, right? And we are talking a good few years from now. We're talking 3-5 years from now before we see all this stuff fully come together from all their acquisitions and stuff. Yeah, the new Perfect Darks, the new stuff from Bethesda, and all this stuff. We need to see all this come out. Once we start seeing this trend, then I'll join you on the Microsoft hype train. Right, in terms of this big console, getting all these games, bringing all these games back and all this stuff. Then I'll join you. Until then, just like with anyone, I can only go off the past. It's like with Sony. Sony, I got Parappa the Rapper in the back here. They sold that studio. The studio that made Parappa, the studio that made me buy a PS1. I saw this game fucking playing. Right? Maybe buy a PS1. All these studios are gone. Because some of these companies just don't, when something doesn't click, like with what the fuck have I got here? Like with Fable, Lionhead, yeah, a break off for Bullfrog, another British studio. Peter Loney, yeah, Theme Park, Black and White, all that shit. Bullfrog with EA, they're fucking dead. Yeah, they're gone. Lionhead Studios, yeah, had a few attempts at Fable, they're fucking gone. Yeah, so what? Now Microsoft's saying, oh, actually, now we're working on a new Fable, even though we got rid of all the original people.
Well, that's where you can get into a debate, though. Is like, would that, without Microsoft, would they even made a Fable?
Would they even be like? I know that's the thing. It's like that's what I was gonna say. It was like, okay, well,
they gave them a shot.
Without Microsoft, would they be able to? Because we're talking about Bullfrog here.
Yeah, but their ambition was way exceeded what they could deliver in that generation of a game. And did Microsoft hamstring them, or that's what we don't know, or were they just
with the Fable games? Mm-hmm. It's not the point I'm making about Microsoft being this studio who might just sit in the background and do nothing. The point I'm making is that we had these developers, we had these studios. After one or two failures, yeah, or whatever. There's no try something new. Yeah, there's none of this. It's either merge into someone else and work with another company, or get the fuck out. That's what we've known in the industry. Yeah. That's my whole point. You know, so
yeah, I mean,
I don't think that's just a gaming industry thing. I think that's just a business thing. Would a company like them who on their own be able to have 3 failures, or would it be done after one? Because I would think most of the time, a smaller company, they have one major failure, they're done.
Yeah, no? that's where it gets a little where you can't.
I can see that point.
Because like you mentioned Capcom, they're not the same Capcom. No one bought out Capcom, did they? Like that's just a natural thing happens when your business is open long enough. You have eventually people retire or somebody leaves, goes to another company, competition. I think
we're missing a few things though, because when you do mention these companies, when you do mention Capcom, what were Capcom like during the SNES era? They're fucking huge. Street Fighter fucking 2 and all that shit, right? Yeah. Jump into Sega. Yeah, you're getting the Marvel vs. Capcom 2s, you're getting the Power Stones, you're getting all these games and all that stuff. For me, when Capcom started to get out of sync was during the PS2 generation. Yeah, gamers' mindsets changed. The way people use their games and what Capcom had to feel like they needed to produce changed. So I
think you could say this honestly. You could look at especially like Capcom in the 90s. Capcom had like 30 games that were exactly the same with just different characters. Side-scrolling. Okay.
I couldn't have named anything other than Street Fighter, honestly, other than Ghouls and Ghosts and Street Fighter. That's the only 2 Capcom
games. They had a bunch of like, arcade games that were very similar.
They also had licensed
the same engine that just, had different characters in them. And that wasn't going to... You can't sustain yourself that way. But, they experimented heavily. It's a lot to their own detriment, especially during the 360 era.
God, that was such a bad era for them.
Yeah, it was a terrible
era. I think the hardware leap going, not just, the early ages of 3D, but then now you got 3D and you got to make it look a certain way for HD. I think the companies weren't ready for that hardware leap.
No, but the
that
problem
is
definitely
the end of-
that
just
put a
the
lot of
end of the
companies out
technology
too.
alone. Like,
Yeah, but they wanted to push
The cost.
they wanted to push it. Honestly, I think that's one of the reasons why I think Street Fighter ended up being exclusive to PlayStation. Because it's crazy that Street Fighter 4 had like 16 different versions, and then you were like, "Oh, let's go to Street Fighter 5." I don't think Capcom wanted to handle that weight by themselves. So Sony, you want to do some financial backing a little bit, and we'll keep it exclusive.
Or did Sony come to
console-wise.
them and say, "Hey, make Street Fighter 5. Here's some money." I guess
we'll use some
we
money,
wanna-
but you better make this shit only on our system.
After the success
that
of
one-
Street
that one
Fighter
would've been-
4, come on.
Because Street Fighter 4 still made money. Like it still made money. That's why they kept
Street Fighter
re-releasing it.
still made money. Street Fighter
I
4
very much believe
rekindled
that
the whole
Capcom was in
fighting
trouble in
genre.
other areas, and that's why they subsidized that with
Yeah.
Street Fighter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I very much believe Sony was like, "Oh, well, we're offering money." They were like, "Well, fuck it. That's an IP that would sell anyway." And then Street Fighter
Right.
5 didn't sell like that.
Right. They
at all.
had a value proposition. This is our valuable IP here. Pay us.
So
And
they
they
took a
only
hit in
paid
quality for money.
I don't know what iteration, but I swear there's one on in the Windows Store or
There's one on Steam or
On
whatever.
Steam.
Yeah, this one I'm saying. Yeah, you talking about Street Fighter 5?
was it like the one of the other versions like the
I don't
Champion
think they
Edition?
made another version though. I think it's just like the DLC included or something like that.
Wait, for Street
I
Fighter?
thought they released
Yeah.
another like a
Yeah, it's Champion, and then they have Arcade Edition. They have like three or four editions of 5.
Okay,
And there'll be another one once all the DLC's out. The DLC isn't even all out yet.
They've been
That's
doing
like
this
there's
shit
two.
forever.
To me, it feels like there's two sides of
People-
Capcom.
I mean, to be fair, Capcom has a whole other issue with the fact that they don't really make fighting games anymore, which is a whole other problem. The genre they were known for, because
Resident
that
Evil
genre-
is killing for them right now. So
yeah, they're making money off of other shit.
Monster Hunter.
And Monster Hunter, man.
Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, they don't really rely on their fighting games
I
anymore.
think Monster Hunter Rise was number 2 on Steam.
Yeah, they're
Last week.
fucking. Monster Hunter's become like a AAA IP.
So
for
anyway,
them
the
now.
point I was kind of trying to get to is like, you just leave these companies alone, and over the course of 30 years, there's gonna be so many different people, so much. What do they call it when people come and go? Some
turn around.
a lot of
turnaround.
turnaround. You're not gonna have the same, like Nintendo when some of their main guys have, Miyamoto's taken a step
30,
down.
40
He's
years.
gonna retire. You're gonna have some major. We've already had major change with Nintendo. We see it. I feel like they're a different company now, and I don't like them like I used to. Like that just happens naturally without having someone buy you out. So
That is true.
Well, to be fair,
the
yeah,
games-
Sony's different.
The game's still good. Though.
yeah, that's the thing. When is that quality control gonna be
mean,
gone?
Time skills there with it.
But just to wrap this up, like I said, like
We needed more
I'm-
time for this.
I know I'm happy.
Yeah, Juice.
I'm happy with Capcom making games and doing if they fuck up or if they don't. It doesn't. I'm fine with them. Like I don't want somebody to buy Capcom unless Tencent's trying to
Yeah.
buy them out and they're thinking about it. Then if somebody else stepped in, that'd be one thing. But for me, I just wish they'd all stay.
You say unless Tencent came out, that's only because that's the PlayStation mentality I used to have when PlayStation first came on the scene. You have these new guys here, not part of gaming, trying to get into gaming.
Just
buying all
because
this
they're a
stuff.
Chinese company and they have no
that's-
rules. Like China
Hey,
runs at
come
a
on now,
different
yeah,
fucking rule set than the rest of the world.
That's
Well,
That's a whole other-
company.
that's a whole other top. That's a whole other topic.
So
there,
that's
you
the
know.
only reason I don't
trust
care
that commie
that.
company, man, coming in trying to buy up all these Western studios.
And then they just got endless money, so it's like they could really do some damage and truly like in a short span of time. I feel like they could really fuck this gaming industry up.
They
How
could
do you think?
totally-
How do you think people felt about Nintendo back then?
Nintendo was not a.
Hey, maybe
Japan's
but
not a
Nintendo
communist.
didn't come in as this huge corporation that owns a bunch of shit, just buying up stuff. Like they were just a
Nintendo was just
toy
tyrant.
maker.
Yeah,
You know?
in the 80s, there was a lot of Japan.
I could see that. I remember that.
It was totally a lot of.
Maybe Tencent would come in and do some awesome shit, but I just don't. I have less faith in them. I'm more worried about them buying up because you said Platonics. I forgot about that. I was thinking of
They
the
got
guys that
Platonic,
did
they
Snake
got-
Pass.
They got part of Ubisoft. They got
Or,
a
yeah,
huge
Snake.
portion of Epic.
Who's the guys that did this? The last
Unreal
Sega?
Engine, guys.
The last-
Unreal Engine. 40% is owned by Tencent. That's frightening to me.
Yeah,
don't know.
I just don't want big
Yeah.
corporations, any more big corporations coming in and buying up the last of what's left of these
They're
third
ready to be
parties.
disappointed.
I just want to say for Terrell that maybe Microsoft should buy Square Enix. We can finally get some good Final Fantasies again after like 20 years.
Whoa,
Yeah,
whoa.
but
I
hey,
enjoyed
look,
15 a lot, man.
you say that, but then you also
I
will get
enjoyed
less
15 a lot, yeah.
Octopaths and less
That's
Project
true.
Triangle
I
Strategy.
don't want less Octopaths.
My, like I told you,
I
Square,
don't know. I think.
Double A Square is fine, but I don't. Big Triple A Square don't know what the fuck they're
Well, here's
doing.
the other side of it. I mean, we can
I
talk
love
a bit
Double A
longer.
Square.
Not only I'm not just putting all the blame on Microsoft. Now Microsoft comes in and gives these companies freedom. Hey, you got the resources. You know, a game I'm still looking forward to, but they didn't do anything for me with the last trailer. Is Hellblade? They buy Ninja Theory, and I didn't know anything about Ninja Theory. I just know I liked Hellblade, you know, and I heard good things about some of their other games. I never played Heavenly Sword. I know that was kind of mixed, but the one T was talking about on Xbox 360 that they made
Slave.
Enslaved.
Oh, Enslaved.
So Microsoft buys them, and now I kind of see the head guy, and I think he's right there with Neil Druckmann. Is a little bit of a fart smell, but they build a fucking
Damn.
state of the art, brand new studio office, and you see his fucking office, and it's just like, it's just super fancy. And I'm not a fancy kind of guy, so I see that stuff and it immediately turns me off. But then they build a brand new volume for motion capture. I was like, all right, you know, that's cool. You know, they're investing, and then, you know, so far we haven't seen anything out of it. So this company, maybe Hellblade 2 ends up being amazing. I mean, I'm not saying it won't be, but so far I feel like they just kind of took that money and kind of splurged on. Maybe they needed a new office, new place.
What's the last game you got out of Retro Studios, motherfucker?
Exactly. But
Yeah, man,
I just so far I didn't. That's the one thing. They seem to like they went all in on let's have this really nice new facility and this and that. Kind of like what Platonics I feel like they did with all that money they got from the Kickstarter. They built a freaking studio or
And
place.
now Tencent, they're Chinese overlords.
Yeah, you know.
Well, I
and,
think so. I was trying to look up. I guess they don't like own. They own a not the majority of them, but like a minority of them. I guess.
Yeah, but a nice chunk of
a
minority.
nice chunk, I guess, right?
40th percentage.
Even
So, yeah, I
even
mean,
I
some
didn't
of
know
these
that. Even
studios-
Ubisoft, even Ubisoft, 5% they own. I didn't know that. What the fuck?
Yeah, Ubisoft.
And Ubisoft,
5%,
I think,
yeah,
is
obviously,
prime
yeah.
to be bought because they haven't had a really big successful hit. Well, they got Siege
They
or
need
whatever.
They need to slow
But
the
they
fuck
keep-
down.
Valhalla did good though.
I think
Valhalla
that's
was
who's
their
next,
best performing.
Microsoft.
Valhalla
Still,
was,
they
like, their
keep
best
putting out
performing
games
one,
like
yeah.
Riders Republic and Immortals,
Yeah.
and they're not
They've
like
been falling off.
that's some
They're-
losses, man.
They're pushing too much. They're pushing too much and not doing any quality control.
They're
They
still
can
pushing
push
the
all
billion,
those
It's
though.
not really
losses.
quality control. It's not quality control because they're good games, but what it is just they don't know when to release. Think about it. They released those 3 games within a month. It was so
Yeah.
stupid. It was so dumb.
Well, I
They
don't
can
think
push all
anybody
those,
said.
like-
new. That's what happened to Beyond Good and Evil. They released so much shit. Beyond Good and Evil got buried and nobody played it.
I don't think a
They-
Watch Dogs
they can
Legion
afford
is
to
really
leave-
that
they
well
can-
received.
They can
think
afford to
it's
release all those jank games because those Nintendo frauds keep buying the Mario games.
What, you mean the one game?
And the next one that's coming up, man, we're gonna like fund that next Ubisoft game like that.
Yeah,
But
but
I doubt that'll
but,
fund a
but
fucking.
here's the difference. Those games, the first game was good. That was the difference. All right. It'd be a different story if the game was ass and we still bought it. The game was good. All right.
If it was Assassin's Creed.
You know, there's
sorry,
always a chance when these companies get bought and then they release a Force Awakens and then they release a Last Jedi. You know, there's always a
Ugh.
chance.
And look. There have been some acquisitions that don't bother me. Like, give you an example. I'm surprised I can say this, but when Sega acquired Atlas, that didn't really fuck up Atlas like I thought it was going to. It was just like, oh hey,
They pretty
by
much
the
left them
way,
alone.
they just left them the fuck alone. I said, all right, shit.
Yeah.
And we still got good games. I said, all right, it's fine. Just put out your
Here's
ports
a
to
tweet
other
for you,
consoles.
Robert.
What?
Here's a nice tweet that you'll like.
I'm just saying, not all acquisitions are bad. I'm just saying, I'm hovering in the sign of uncertainty until we see shit. Because I was very nervous. I was nervous about the Atlas situation.
It's
For a
like
little
you
while.
said, like certain small acquisitions here and there, like Nintendo, like they're like building off Monolith,
I follow that
with the way that
account.
album. So
Okay.
it's good. It's like investing and stuff. It's just like the Microsoft thing is like you're not just investing a little bit. You're literally like taking a massive part of the market and shit.
Now the good news is that this could also lead to good change between other companies. Some companies
sure.
will see this shit and be like, "Nope, I'm not." All right, they gonna take if they take Call of Duty, bet, and then release the developers to create new games. They become maybe this gets Sony to fucking make Killzone, not mediocre as fuck.
Somebody said Killzone. Like, I was like, what? Has Killzone ever been good?
Killzone ran its course. I hope they never make another one.
It's just mediocre. That's the problem with it.
Yeah.
Or maybe fucking Battlefield won't be a piece of shit or won't be mediocre.
I guess the
as
last
hell either.
Battlefield was trash. I
think Sony is
was
way
very
too
broken,
they're
apparently.
too invested in Call of Duty.
No, well, my issue with Sony is that Sony also is out of the market of trying different shit anymore. We're kind of stuck to like.
And by the way, Microsoft acquired this $68 billion company, and they're still not on the revenue level of Sony. That's probably going to change.
Oh yeah.
Well, you mean the games division or
Currently, yeah, games division.
Oh
yeah,
okay.
because they make a shit ton off like Fortnite and like I said, Call of Duty. They still make a lot of money off these microtransactions and shit that take place on their system.
Yeah.
And
like I'm not really into shooters. Whatever happened to like that kind of shit,
Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor.
Yeah, like I don't think you never hear that.
Well, I
shit
think
anymore.
it was
Medal of Honor. EA done a reboot to try and compete with Call of Duty, and
yeah, they did do a reboot.
What was the
really?
one everybody
Yeah,
loved?
it
Band
flopped.
of Brothers, or what the hell was that called? I'm thinking.
Company Heroes. Oh
So
no,
they quickly ran back to
about
Battlefield after that shit.
It was a number 2. It was around the time
Army
that
of 2? Army of 2?
is it Bad Company? Bad Company.
Bad Company 2.
Bad
I
Company
think
2.
that's the
Bad
one.
Company 2.
I think that was the last good Battlefield game.
I mean, people enjoy
People still buying them bitches.
3, 4. I know 3.
Yeah, but
4,
that's everyone always, even with 3 and 4. Well, I wish it was more like Bad Company 2. Like that was the pinnacle.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they
But-
did it better.
Don't people say that about every game? I wish it was more like this other game I used to play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody
I guess,
says
yeah.
that
Everybody
about
says
some
that.
game. Yeah.
Just to be fair, 5 years down the road, you'll hear, "I wish it was more like Battlefield 5."
I like 3D
Nah.
World, but I wish it was more like Galaxy.
Yeah, man.
I wish it was
Like,
more
think
like
about it, right now is the generation
64.
of the GameCube dudes. Like they're gonna be talking about GameCube, PS2, and you're starting
All I know
early
is-
generation 360.
Right now, the last couple years, my lead platform, what's the way? Preferred platform
Oh,
has been the PlayStation, and I just got my year wrap up. I have 469 hours combined between PS4 and PS5. I would say there's a good chunk of that was watching Rocket League on Twitch early last year.
They
But-
count that shit too.
they count that?
I'm guessing anytime the PlayStation was on, because I totaled up my
Yeah,
games
I
times
don't
in
think
the
that can be
games.
because I watch.
It's like
Netflix
100
on
more
there.
than what my game total of game time was.
Okay.
So my most played was Immortals, 132 hours. I feel like that's a bit high, but not much. I thought it was 120.
That's what I was saying. Mine's is.
But Returnal's right on at 77. It says Ghost of Tsushima was 52. I thought it was 40 something. And then Days Gone at 51. Those are my top 4 most played.
Damn, 51 hours of Days Gone, huh?
Yeah.
And then I think, what did I have on Switch last year? Like
Well,
80?
I can't get over
So
retro.
your exclusive hours are only really like 100.
Did you guys see retros?
No,
fucking,
it's like 200.
29 hours of
What's the other 100 from?
what's the game that's not
Narita
even,
boy, man.
Well,
Narita
just
Game
Days
of
Gone
the
and Ghost
year.
of Tsushima is 100,
But-
and then Returnal's 77, and
just
plus I
cracks me
played
up 'cause
others.
Oh, you said it was okay.
Narita Boy is legit. If you look at the average playtime, just to play it normally is
Oh,
7
yeah.
hours. And then it's
There's no way you
100%
have
is
29
10
hours.
29 hours? What do you mean?
Here's the thing though about the
That motherfucker's
100%.
obsessed.
Everybody
Narita
plays
Boy-
games differently.
No, Narita Boy has one
You mean someone
giant
played
flaw,
bad?
and I absolutely hate that flaw. Is
Oh.
that there's no backtracking in the sense that every time you reach a certain point in the story, you can't get back
Yeah.
to a previous area, and you need to get back. So what I did is I played the whole game once, and I took my time with it. But also took my time with it. But then I wanted to like platinum it, so I was like, fuck, I have to start it over because I missed something in this area. So I started over, played the whole game to the half. I was like, fuck, I missed another thing in this one area, and I had to start it over like a third time.
All right. I mean, that would add. I mean, you know,
Can't
around
you?
that, it would
Can you
add
have
up,
a
but I
separate
guess-
save file? We can go back, but
Yeah, you know, like
there
like
is some. There is
No,
a few.
I finished it first and then started it over on a different save file.
On the PS5, you can track your trophy progress at any time and see where you're at, and then see what you need to do. That still won't help you if you check it late and you've already passed an
Yeah,
area.
I guess the thing.
But
I just honestly, like, I was just stunned when I saw 29 hours. Like, man, come on.
It's so good, man. It's
I
so
get it,
good.
but like,
well,
I'm
it's
like,
been
are
documented
you just,
that
like,
it's
very,
over.
very slowly
Some of the
walking over,
hours
like-
are over. Like there's no way I had 132 in Immortals in
I
2021
had-
because
I
I put like
don't-
30 hours in 2020, and I only have 120 total. So
Yeah.
I know that's off. But
Yeah.
You
It's
just had
all-
the game running. You just sitting around
Yeah.
stretching the balls.
because
that soundtrack is that soundtrack.
You like some of these dudes, these frauds out here, start the game and just walk
but
away.
I think that would still show up on.
I'm just
Look at all the
setting up,
hours I
man.
got in this game, bitch.
Listen, I'm setting up.
You only
I'm
got one
setting up.
trophy in that bitch.
On that Ubisoft though, Ubisoft has that account system, so you can play cross-platform, and that's where it told me how many hours I had, and I think that would count even if you just had the game running.
Oh, you mean fucking you?
Motherfucker got 80 hours in the game and only got one. Fuck happened? What's going on?
Well, that's like somebody on Steam that I was friends with. I don't remember where I added them. I thought they were somebody from from the podcast years ago, and it showed like 40 hours of Rocket League recently. Well, then I'd see he was on, and it said at main menu. So I'd play, and then I'd check the next match at main menu. I'd send him a friend like a game invite. Like an hour later, at main menu. I'm like, dude, this guy's booting up the game and just putting it in the background. I wonder why. Like, never play. I never once seen him playing in a match. It was always that main menu.
So even when I had the infamous First Light, that game's like 4 hours, and it said like 30 hours. I'm like, no, that doesn't make sense. How the hell? I know I didn't play that shit for 30 hours.
You passed out with the game on.
Make a leg love it. He loved it.
Yeah, is he playing with that? Did you buy that N64 controller for 50 there, Laker? I wonder if Clocked It bought one.
Damn.
Is it better than what I can do right here? That's what I want to know.
Oh wow, savages.
And I don't gotta pay nothing extra for this right here.
We got to get out of here because I do want to talk to T a little bit about some football and stuff. So.
Oh, I don't want to talk about no football.
But yeah, we'll get out of here and we'll be back next week. Do it all again. So thanks for tuning in.
I think we should continue this.
Yeah.
And maybe get some questions